All right, I believe we are live. What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another live stream. We got some people in the house, and we got a big story to talk about. First of all, let me welcome Lethal Lightning. What's going on, brother Lethal?
I'm enjoying my time off work. I'm in my Hawaiian shirt mode. I'm not setting alarms. I am loving life. How are you?
I'm good, especially with this story that we're about to tell everybody about. This is wild. Okay, and for the first time ever on a Geeks and Gamers live stream, the newest member of the Geeks and Gamers team, Miss Darth Barbie, Krista Nova. How are you, Krista?
I'm good. So sorry I can't be on cam. It's 1 in the morning where I'm at. But thank you for having me on.
All good, and it's a pleasure to have you here for the first time. Okay, so we're going to jump right into this because we got a lot to talk about now. Krista, she's not familiar with the story that we're about to talk about because this only dropped about 2 hours ago. Lethal, and Mary actually sent it to me right before you sent it to me, Lethal. But this is over on Reddit. Lethal, can you do a screen share, or do you want me to do the screen share and we can start reading off some of this? Because it is, so basically on Reddit, someone who is close to the production of the Rise of Skywalker has dropped some major information. Now, we cannot confirm nor deny if it is actually true or not, but this is it right here. And this is major stuff. Like, is this Snyder level meddling, Lethal, from what we're hearing?
Oh, it's pretty close, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. So, unbelievable. So we're going to jump right into this. Lethal, if you want to go ahead and let's just read it by line and we'll just talk about the details. This is absolutely crazy. I'm blown away by this. So Mary Mayhem is here. Mary, how are you?
Oh, shit.
Are you good?
I'm good. I've got like a million tabs open right now, so I can't even find the fracking stream.
It's all right. It's all right. So wait, I was just starting. We're talking about this crazy story that you shared with me first, and now Lethal has shared with the chat that we had. So Lethal, let's jump right into this bad boy. Go for it.
All right. Well, he opens up with, since shortly after the release weekend, you've been corresponding with some people who worked closely on production of Rise of the Skywalker and works with one of the major companies that he cannot disclose here. You have a verified source to information to this person's satisfaction. To protect the source, I am rewording what we spoke about over the last 2 weeks, and I'm submitting it into bullet point form, which is what they do on Twitter all the time. I mean, Reddit. I have written based on what they told me. The too long didn't read is that they were upset with the final product of the Rise of Skywalker and wanted to share their perspective on how it went down and where it went wrong. Right. So
now, and for everybody joining us, this is some next level meddling. Everybody called out Doomcock for, the rumors about, different cuts and different edits. Well, guess what? This is going to exonerate Doomcock once again. He's already been exonerated, but
Doomcock was right.
Yeah, this is going to take it to the next level, though, and this is absolutely crazy. So, go ahead, Lethal.
All right, so the first one, the leakers for the Rise of the Skywalker had an agenda and tied to Disney directly. Your source confessed that they have an agenda as well, and that they struggle with ignoring what's been happening to someone who they think doesn't deserve it. Now, I think that's in regards to JJ.
That's got to be in regards to JJ. So there's talking about the fact that these leakers that 4 months ago, we had the leaks and it's unbelievable how crazy that how true they were. And now here we have people that, just so everybody knows that's just joining us, if you're just joining us here, we have a big story that just hit Reddit where basically JJ and the Rise of Skywalker were sabotaged by Disney. The person that leaked this story on Reddit is telling us in their own words later on when we get into this. It basically says the Rise of Skywalker we saw last night, meaning when they saw it on premiere night, is not the Rise of Skywalker we worked on. This is unbelievable shit. So go ahead, Lethal.
JJ always treated everyone on and off the set with respect. So your source's agenda is that what Disney has done to JJ and how much they screwed him over should be something people are at least aware of whether you like him as a filmmaker or not. It's sounding very Snyder-esque, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. And when you add the whole DC dynamic, which you're very knowledgeable on, and the fact that they, regardless of what you think of JJ, and I think Gary said this best, that he appeals to the normies, you know. And I like JJ a lot. Obviously, I wasn't a Trek fan, and I liked his Trek movies. But he can launch. You know, he can launch these franchises. He can relaunch them, and he can pull the general audience in. Drunk, if you're available, bud, it's in the chat. I don't know if you're still streaming over with Anna, but you can join us. But all right, go ahead, continue, Lethal.
The next point is actually what you mentioned. It says that JJ is very successful at bringing franchises back, like Mission Impossible, Star Trek, and Star Wars. Warner Brothers is struggling with DC. Aside from Wonder Woman, DC is still seen as a bit of a joke in its current state by the general audience. So that kind of goes in with why they wanted JJ to come over there. Because rumor is he's going to be doing the next Superman, which has me very worried.
Right.
What are we up to now? Warner Brothers wants Abrams for some DC projects. My source said that this generation Star Wars is the MCU. I think we can all agree with that. And Marvel's biggest threat is a well-operational DC. They want to keep DC in the limbo that they're in right now. Abrams jump-starting that franchise with something like a successful audience-pleasing Superman makes them nervous. Their goal is to make JJ look bad to potential investors and shareholders.
Yep.
Ooh.
And now this is now I know we've got a lot of people. We got 1,100 people watching. So if you're just joining us, this is over on Reddit, over on Saltier Than Crate. And again, this is just a rumor. We're not confirming nor denying anything that we're talking about. But when you read the details here, when you start thinking about,
it is really uncanny how a lot of this stuff sort of lines up.
Yes, absolutely. And so when you start seeing like all of the reports that Doomcock had, all of the fact that 4-5 months ago was when the leaks for the Rise of Skywalker released, like that had to come from within. That had to come from within, where someone within the company, you know, had a problem. So, all right. So as you're reading it, try not to scroll as much, Lethal, so the chat can read along with you. So kind of go like wherever you're going to start, just put that one at the top and then just read down instead of scrolling as you read. You know what I mean? So the chat can keep up with it. But now this is the line I was talking about, where they said the Rise of Skywalker we saw last night, meaning premiere night, is not the Rise of Skywalker we worked on. What the fuck? That's crazy. So go ahead, Lethal.
That sounds a lot like Justice League to me.
Yes, absolutely.
JJ was devastated and blindsided by this, a lot like Snyder. He has been feeling down over the last 6 months because some of the ridiculous demands from Disney had changed his movie's story. While the scenes were shot, a lot of the changes were made in post-production, and the audio was re-recorded and altered. My source said that they've never seen anything like this happen before. He's the director, and he wasn't in the know of what they were doing behind his back.
Jeez. This is only the beginning. All right, we see John Boyega basically putting this movie on blast all over Twitter. He's fighting with all the crazy Reylo fans. And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys that are watching right now a little bit of a peek to what's to come. But according to this report, JJ was 100% against Reylo. JJ was 100% against Reylo.
Well, you can see that in some of the stuff that he says, like in articles and stuff. He's like, well, it's more like supposed to be what I had in mind was like a brother-sister relationship, right? So that lines up with a lot of the stuff that he's been saying from here. There's a lot of things that lend credibility to just the normal stuff that they themselves have been saying, that this sort of just comes across as really valid to me.
Absolutely. So everyone, welcome in. We are reading this Reddit story that just broke a few hours ago. I'm joined by Lethal Lightning. I'm joined by Mary Mayhem, and for the first time, the newest member of the Geeks Gamers team, Darth Barbie, is here. Darth Barbie, I know this big streams make you nervous. You got 1,500 people watching. Are you okay?
I'm fine, yes.
Okay, doing a great job in the chat. We got Mary here, Mary, you're uploading your video on this story right now, right? Okay, so that'll be on your channel tomorrow.
At 11 a.m. is when it's due to come out. So
okay, excellent. Okay, so Lethal, back at it.
Apparently, JJ felt threatened over the month leading up to the premiere. Short one. Ryan was never meant to do episode 9, despite some rumors that he was. That's interesting.
That is interesting. And there's a part where you're going to talk about how Bob Iger actually brought back JJ, not Kathleen Kennedy. And we heard those reports about a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, where Bob Iger's a big fan of JJ, where Kathleen Kennedy collided with JJ on The Force Awakens, and she loved Rian Johnson, where Bob Iger really didn't like Rian Johnson, but Kathleen Kennedy that was the apple of her eye. So this falls right into it. Go ahead, continue. Sorry for interrupting.
JJ was brought back by Iger, not Kathleen Kennedy, that's what you said. But Disney insisted on more fan service because they thought that'd be less controversial.
What a disaster. And this is, you know what this all comes. Look, you can say what you want, okay? You can say what you want about The Force Awakens, okay? But the fan base was still unified for the most part. The normies were there. The merchandise was selling. The interest level was there. Now, now you look back at it, and yeah, there was a lot of problems with it. There's no doubt. But The Last Jedi is really what put this, really in motion to really falling apart. Now, Mary, do you want to say anything on that? I know you.
There was nowhere for him to go with this, right? There was absolutely nowhere that he could have gone. It tells us, and this was something that you and I had both said, basically since The Last Jedi, that in order to write this, they needed to do 2 films, and that was something that this Reddit report says, that he wanted to do 2 films. And I never understood, why was it that Disney would be so opposed to wrapping this up with 2 films? I mean, all you're doing is leaving money on the table, right? You're leaving this massive amount of money on the table when you could literally have a damn good excuse to make an extra film. Fans would be behind you in needing to make an extra film to wrap this up nice and tidy. This report says J.J. Abrams was on board with that. Why would you shut that down, Disney? Well, if you're trying to backstab J.J. Abrams, that is really the only damn thing that makes sense to me, is if you're trying to undercut this guy. So yeah, I mean, like, it makes sense from several different perspectives.
Absolutely,
it seems like they're trying to undercut him so he looks like an idiot. So when he goes to Warner Brothers, who's probably their biggest rival, they're going to be iffy with him, giving him a character like Superman, who's still like the biggest fictional character of all time.
Iffy. Even if they're not iffy giving him a character like Superman, the crowds will be iffy about going to see a character after the last bomb, right? So if the movie
together.
Do what?
It kind of goes together, like if the crowd's
either way, and if their
like
movie succeeds, then they still came out with a good movie, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a whatever situation for them. Why the hell not?
Exactly. All right, Lethal, continue.
All right. JJ's original agreement when he signed on was indicating that he would have way more creative control than he did on The Force Awakens. It became evident this wasn't the case only a couple of weeks into shooting when the trouble with the meddling started. Wow.
Snyder-esque. It's Snyder-esque.
This is another Snyder-esque situation.
Release the JJ cut is going to become a thing.
Literally, that's like one of the last things I said was release the Abrams cut. I'm down for it. Let's do it.
Now, Krista, Darth Barbie, are you prepared to see Lethal Lightning spam every live stream with hashtag release the JJ cut?
I'm ready.
Because that's pretty much all he does with the Snyder cut.
Right.
That's true. It's true.
All right, go ahead, Lethal.
I haven't even seen episode 9. And I don't like JJ, but I still think the man should be given his movie. Release the JJ cut.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. JJ wanted to do some scenes he thought were important, but Disney shut it down, citing budgetary reasons. Oh, yeah. Like the biggest company in the world doesn't have the money to pay for his scenes.
Right.
May 2019. JJ argued that those scenes were crucial. He had to let go of one of those scenes. The other scene he insisted on was approved at first. He did reshoots and additional photography in July. The new scene was shot at the BR in October. What does that mean? At BR.
Bad Robot.
Okay, so reshot at Bad Robot in October. Wow. So from May to October, he was doing the same part.
Yep. Unbelievable. And look, guys, it still gets even worse as you get deeper into this. And it's believable stuff. I mean, it really is. I mean, this is absolutely believable. I've sent Mahler a link. Calm down, Mary. I have sent Mahler a link. I don't know if he's around.
I don't have extra towels right now. Why do you do these things?
I don't know if he's available, but I did send him a link. I don't know what time it is over wherever he's at. So anyway, but this gets worse and worse. Now, also, Krista, if you can get the link to this from
put it up.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, keep you guys keep kind of updating that in the chat, so everybody that's viewing can actually go watch it themselves too. And Mecha Random says right here, Matt Smith is a smoking gun. If we find a picture of him on set, we'll have proof of a JJ cut. That's a great point. That's an absolute great point. All right, go ahead, Lethal.
All right, the ending that will blow your mind. I think that was what JJ said to Kevin Smith. Was part of this. Older actors were included, like Hayden, Ewan, and Samuel, and anyone who wasn't animated. The Force Ghosts weren't meant to be voices because they shot that footage on camera. The actors were in costumes. Rey was supposed to be surrounded by Force Ghosts to serve as a sort of barrier between her and the Sith surrounding them. That sounds pretty different to what's in the actual movie.
Absolutely does.
But we also heard so many rumors about freaking people being on set for this stuff, remember? We heard those rumors over and over and over again that we had people like Ewan McGregor on set. We had people like fracking A, which is shit, why is his name out of my head right now? Anakin Skywalker. I can't remember his name.
Hayden.
Hayden Christensen. Yes.
I should have let Krista have that one because she would have told you Hayden Christensen in a second. So she's a big Anakin fan. So
these people were on set for this film. We heard those rumors over and over and over again that they weren't just voices in this stuff. So it absolutely lines up with a lot of the rumors that we've been hearing for literally kind of years at this point. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a disaster, and this is exactly what we knew it was going to be. We knew it was going to be a disaster. And here we are. I mean, again, is everybody's claiming this film is so well received. Everyone loves this movie, yada, yada, yada. I mean, Krista, you're one of the more positive, people, that I interact with. Rest of us were like, bah, 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 bah. But even when you came out of the movie, what did you think? You being Miss Positive, what did you think of the Rise of Skywalker immediately after?
I didn't like it. I mean, I enjoyed it more than The Last Jedi, but it still was so bad. It was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's so like, even like there's people out there that are going to constantly tell you, oh yeah, this movie's being well received. Then why are stories like this being released? Stories like this weren't released for Endgame. Stories like this aren't released for, like the Dark Knight trilogy or things that are successful. Like you don't hear these stories of films that have been well received. I guarantee you. And again, you got to think about this from, certain perspectives, but there's really, I mean, it's pretty obvious that it seems like this is coming directly from JJ's camp, I mean, that's what it seems like. It really does. All right, continue on.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead, Lethal.
My source thinks but can't 100% confirm that this is because of China. It's in an office talks of sorts. Some visual effects people claim they got a list of approved shades of blue they could use on the Luke Force Ghost. Cutting this out was when the bad blood turned into a nightmare for JJ because the movie he was making was suddenly unrecognizable to him in almost every way. Snyder-esque.
Yep.
My source knows JJ well enough to know that he's not the yelling type, but apparently in a meeting he yelled something along the lines of, "Why don't you just put directed and written by Lucasfilm on it instead?"
Yeah.
What a lag.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Why don't you just put written and directed by Lucasfilm? Oh, that's beautiful. That is fantastic. What a disaster this is. Continue on with the beautiful disaster, Lethal.
He followed it up with saying that my source wasn't present for that exchange, but knows someone who was there. So keep that in mind.
Nice.
Disney's demand that they shot some scenes that would have things fit in for merchandise. They Fly Now is one of them. It's also JJ's least favorite scene. At a November screening of the 2 hour and 37-minute cut, he cringed, groaned, and laughed when that scene was on.
We all
did. We all did. Literally everybody did. Everyone. Oh. I mean, look, for all of your complaints, and people have complaints about J.J. Abrams, and that's perfectly fine. Was there, and correct me if I'm wrong, all right? Was there anything like that bad in like his Trek 09? Like, was there any like They Fly Now? Like, I will say the Into Darkness, the Alice Eve scene was kind of cringe, where she was just like standing there in her bra and panties for no reason. You know what I mean? But but yeah, look at Lethal. Lethal is very offended by what I just said.
How was that cringe?
I'm just saying it didn't benefit anything except for Lethal. except for Lethal.
I'm gonna look this up now.
But the point is ridiculous. Recap. All right. We got 2,500 people watching. All right. Let me set the table a little bit for everybody tuning in. Okay. So about 2 hours ago, over on Reddit, over on Saltier Than Crate Reddit, a story was posted from someone that was closely linked to the production of The Rise of Skywalker. And they vetted their sources and they were able to confirm different things. So they have released a bullet point story of all of these things that seemingly points to the fact that Disney sabotaged J.J. Abrams, all of his creative vision on The Rise of Skywalker. Everything that he wanted to do basically once the film released was not the version of the movie that people that worked on the film said that they worked on. And J.J. Abrams was very upset, and their sources claim that this was in an attempt to smear J.J. Abrams because of the fact that Warner Brothers is interested in J.J. And whether you love or hate J.J., he does have a great ability to get franchises off the ground. And Disney views Marvel as the current generation Star Wars, and their direct competition would be what? DC. And DC is kind of struggling to find their grounding. So if JJ goes over there and starts up the DC franchise, that's going to hurt what Disney has created with the MCU. So these are the bullet points, and they sound very, very legit at this point. Lethal, continue.
My source says that JJ was most not likely joking when he said, "You're right," in the interview where they asked him about Rise of the Skywalker criticisms. What interview was that?
No, he did an interview with someone, and he did say that he said, "You're right about the Rise of Skywalker criticisms." That did happen about a week ago. He did say, if you have criticism, because somebody said, "What do you think about the criticisms?" Because if you go back to when Rian Johnson was asked about the criticisms for The Last Jedi, he said there were no criticisms. You know, he's like, it's a perfect movie. It's a perfect movie. There are no criticisms. And JJ was, he's like, hey, you know what? If you have criticisms, I agree with you. There are criticisms. So he did own the criticisms. He absolutely did. So that kind of just continues to kind of give more validation to what we're reading right now. So, all right, go ahead.
JJ's original early November cut was 3 hours and 2 minutes long. Ooh, isn't the movie like 2.5 hours?
2:22, I think.
Roughly, yeah.
So there's about 40 minutes missing.
Yeah. Well, it says in the thing that he only agreed to even do like a 3 hour long movie because they didn't want to do 2 movies. So he agreed to it. Okay, fine. You don't want to do 2 movies. Well, then at least give me 3 hours. And then they just kept whittling it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've heard this story before. Released the Snyder Cut in January.
Hang on, this guy says this channel's become nothing but Star Wars. Bitch, it's been Star Wars for 2 years. Shut the fuck up and go somewhere else. All right, go ahead, Lethal.
Anyway, in January, JJ suggested that they turn this into 2 films. My source told me this well before Terrio mentioned it in an interview a couple of days ago when Disney said no. JJ was content with making this 3 hours long, which is what Mary just said.
Yeah,
I read the post.
Over a period of 9 months, JJ started to realize that one by one, his ideas and the whole scenes were being thrown out the window or entirely altered by people who have no business melding with their creatives. Yep, this is released the Snyder Cut all over again.
It really is. It really is.
I remember leading up to this movie, there was people talking about how like 70% of the movie was reshot, and all these people were saying, no, that's impossible. That's impossible. That doesn't happen. Did they ever see the Justice League movie? Because this sounds exactly the same as that. Apparently, that movie only had about 10% of Snyder's scenes.
And what is the major criticism of The Rise of Skywalker? Forget like the lore aspects of it. Forget all of that. Even the biggest criticisms from even critics has been this movie feels like 3 different films shoved into one.
So damn disjointed. You can't even tell what the hell it's meant to be.
Yeah, and for all of your criticisms of J.J. Abrams, that has never been a criticism of his movies. You can say he rips people off. You can say he doesn't know how to, but his movies are still coherently put together. You know what I mean? This was a disaster. Like everything was a mess. You're zooming through plot lines, this, that, and the other. So this all feels like it's all falling into place now. And it's a beautiful thing. The Fandom Menace was right. The Fandom Menace was right again, as we usually are. The only time we're not right is when people, I'm not even gonna say, I was gonna say something sarcastic, but I'm not. I'm gonna move on. It was a stream earlier. I'm not gonna do it right now. All right, come on, let's go.
They were not on the same page when it came to creative decisions, and it became obvious that Disney had an agenda in addition to wanting to please shareholders. Disney could afford messing up 9 for the sake of the bigger picture when it came to protecting things unrelated to episode 9. Ooh, so they don't even care.
Well, why would you care either if you had if every movie you put out is a $1 billion movie? Because look, they were going to make $1 billion on this no matter what, right? Like we've been saying that for ages, that they were going to make $1 billion on this. That was going to happen. They're going to throw out $1 billion movies left and right. Yeah. So if they have that assurance that they're going to get $1 billion off of this pretty much bare minimum, why the hell not go ahead and do a little undermining while you're at it, right? Why not?
Well, and to push that point home, and I got to pull it up, so give me just a second, because if you guys remember on that point, and Lethal, reread that point one more time about not caring about 9 in the big scheme of things.
They were not on the same page when it came to creative decisions, and it became obvious that Disney had an agenda in addition to wanting to please shareholders. Disney could afford messing up 9 for the sake of the bigger picture when it came to protecting things unrelated to episode 9.
Yep. And I'm trying to find it, but if you guys remember this, Scott Mendelson, our favorite shill himself over at Forbes, just about a couple weeks ago, I'm looking for it now, but I can't find it at the moment, but he basically said that the Rise of Skywalker box office doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Disney's had such a record year at the box office, and they've made all of this money, yada, 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 and it doesn't matter. And look, whether you understand how this thing works or not, these big websites, they all have their marching orders. They all like, oh, hey, we need you to push this narrative. Hey, we need to push that narrative. This is what we need to put out there to the general public, yada, yada, yada. And that's falling in line with what this story is saying right here, that they truly didn't care about the episode 9 box office. What in the world is that?
Hello.
Who is that?
Not it.
Not me.
Wow. A plane?
Can you hear that?
Yeah. That was awesome. Disney's coming after you, bro. This is why I had you reading it.
They're landing the jet as we speak. Everybody say a prayer for Lethal.
They found him all the way over in Australia.
I think what that might be actually is because we got like the real bad bushfires. I think they might be going over to drop some water.
Oh yeah, because are you doing all right by the way? I know you're dealing with those fires over there.
Yeah, I'm good. My state's kind of past the worst of it. My aunt, she had a fair bit of damage, but everyone was all right.
Okay.
We got New South Wales and Victoria. It's pretty bad. It's one of the worst in the country's history, and we're known for bushfires, but it's been bad lately. But yeah, I'm all right. Thank you.
All right, good deal. And a lot of people in the chat saying they fly now.
I love it. Got it.
All right, continue, Lethal.
All right. The cut JJ eventually and hesitantly agreed to in early December was 2 hours and 37 minutes long. It was the cut that we saw, which he wouldn't have approved, and it is 2 hours and 22 minutes long. Apart from the Force Ghost, there were other crucial and emotional scenes missing. The cut they released looked chopped and taped back together with weak Scotch tape, and that's in JJ's words.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. And again, for anybody that's seen it, can you not at least look at it and go, yeah, that sounds exactly like this is what happened? Because this movie was so thrown together, so many different scenarios that just weren't meshing together. They fly now, yeah. But if you're just joining us, just want to go ahead and let everybody know that we are talking about this story that just broke on Reddit a few hours ago for someone with close to the production of the Rise of Skywalker, releasing a lot of detailed information about what Disney potentially did with sabotaging J.J. Abrams' vision here with episode 9. And if you've seen episode 9, you know that the movie is a complete disaster. It's not a good movie. It's not well put together. And it seems like a rushed mess. And it seems like from this story, which we're not confirming nor denying, it seems like Disney was trying to cut JJ's legs out from up under him, and a lot of decisions were made against his wishes. And I think that this is only the beginning. I mean, we just saw John Boyega go off on Twitter.
Yeah.
When have we ever seen an actor within a couple of weeks with the biggest one of these biggest franchises on the market come out and he's posting spoilers, like
against freaking Reylo specifically? And look, we know these actors love J.J. Abrams. They spent the first movie with him. They've had plenty of complaints about freaking The Last Jedi, but they've never complained about The Force Awakens, and nor have they complained about The Rise of Skywalker, outside of things that, if we're to believe this report, that are things that J.J. Abrams himself was against. So it makes complete sense that John Boyega would be going off on something like Reylo, when if it's a common knowledge among everyone on the set that it wasn't wanted, that it was a mandate from Disney, that it got shoved in there ham-fisted whether they liked it or not, that they would talk back against it. That is so insanely, it just makes sense. It really does line up with what it is that we see from the actors. And John Boyega, if this is to be true, the only reason he's there is because J.J. Abrams went to bat for him, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, though, because we know that Daisy Ridley actually I'm not even going to say his name. He doesn't deserve for me to say his name with this many people watching. But there's a certain YouTuber who spends most of his time on his knees sucking the mouse off. And he was doing an interview with Daisy Ridley, and he asked her about Reylo. This was several months ago. And she point blank said, like, she doesn't like Reylo. She doesn't support Reylo. And so once Daisy has kind of separated herself from this a little further, I believe she's going to have some things to say. John Boyega, I think John Boyega is going to go full Tupac on these motherfuckers. Like, I think he's going to be like, he doesn't care. It's so great. I want John Boyega, because he already does look like a young Denzel. I want him to go full Training Day and just be like, Mickey Mouse ain't got shit on me.
Nice.
Oh, God. But I really do. I really hope that's it. All right, continue, Lethal.
All right. The movie opened with Rey's training. Her first scene with Rose was shortly after Rey damaged BB-8 during the training. Did that happen in the movie?
Trying to
damaging
BB-8.
Okay,
the tree fell.
Tree on him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, dropped a tree on him.
Yep.
Rose made a silly joke about how Poe was going to kill her for damaging BB-8. There was a moment where Rey took a minute to process what just happened when she saw the vision during the training. She looked distressed and worried. The next scene was noise as the Falcon was landing, and Rey runs over there. Those two women who kissed at the end were visible in this shot, and they were holding hands. One of them ran towards the Falcon as it landed.
What a disaster, man. This is going to be talked about for a long time. It really is. I mean, these stories are I mean, there's no way that at least, let's just say 50% of this shit is true. You know what I mean? Like, it's incredible. Continue.
All right. Kylo and Mustafar scene was 2 minutes longer. There was a moment where Kylo seemed a bit dizzy and his vision was shown as blurry for a second, almost as if time half stopped while everyone in the background was slow-mo fighting. That's in the trailer, I'm pretty sure, the first one.
There is some of that slow-mo fighting in the trailer. You know what's bad is that I didn't know that was Mustafar. Who was it that told me? Was it you, Krista, that told me it was Mustafar?
I believe so, yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't even know that. They didn't do a good job of making us understand that.
No.
Did you know it, Mary, when you saw it?
No, not when certainly not from seeing it. I knew it from reports or whatever, but certainly not from seeing it. You wouldn't be able to tell that. So it had been mentioned online, but from what we received and what we saw, hell no, you wouldn't know that shit.
No.
Yeah, no, it's.
But then again, they change everything, so everything's different.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, continue.
Kylo hears Vader's breathing, then shakes his head, and time goes back to moving at a normal pace, and he jumps right back into the battle. The scene from the trailer where he knocks that guy down, which ended up in the movie later. Okay, so that was in the trailer.
Now, and so many people are confused that yeah, that was Mustafar. It absolutely was. See, people are like, wait, that was Mustafar. Yeah, that's how bad they did of telling us what was going on. It's so bad.
They cut some of the scenes from the Lightspeed skipping segment. Some of the planets that were cut were Kashyyyk, Naboo, and Kamino. Prequel hate.
That's exactly. Fucking prequel hate. Why would you cut these things out if you're looking for fan service? You know, like it said clearly they're looking for fan service, and now, oh my gosh, so frustrating. Go ahead, Lisa.
The scene where the TIE fighters are chasing them through the iceberg. Those corridors were inspired by a video game JJ used to play in the 90s called Rebel Assault 2. The third level in the game where the tunnels on Endor specifically. That's cool. I respect that. Jana? Whoever.
Isn't Mustafar Simba's dad? You might be in the wrong stream there. Where did that go? That's probably what Kathleen Kennedy said in the meeting when they were talking about putting Mustafar in it, and they were like, why would we put Simba's dad in the movie? That's Kathleen Kennedy right there. All right. Go ahead.
I don't know how to say this. Jana was confirmed to be Lando's daughter.
I think it's Jana. But the visual, what is it called? What is it, Mary? Yeah, the visual dictionary. I guess that confirmed that, right?
But wasn't that said in like the first batch of leaks that it was going to be his daughter as well?
I think it was speculated upon. I think.
Okay. Is she in the movie much?
She's in it enough, but it's not that much. But it is kind of implied in the movie that what is it, Mary? That they're going off on some type of adventure, her and Lando, or something like that.
Oh yeah, well, so within one of the leaks that we had gotten, it was more than just implied. Like they basically like flat out said it that was his daughter. That it wasn't left open ended. Like, and you can kind of see the implication in the movie itself. Well, they sort of said, well, why don't we go ahead and go figure that out together or whatever. You sort of see the implication, but it's gone into full fledged in the leaks. In some of the leaks that we saw, it wasn't left open ended. It wasn't ambiguous. That you knew that this was Lando's kiddo. And look, as cringe as I find that personally, at least it made some damn sense, because otherwise it comes out of left field in the movie that we get. Right? The movie that we get, you just happened to stick the black guy next to the black chick because I guess they belong in the same area, right? Like it feels really, really bizarre. It feels really cringe. It feels slightly racist, what we said. But it would have at least made some damn sense why, if you've got this situation where we've empathized with Finn for all of this time, that he was taken from a family he would never know, that this girl might be able to get some closure for that, right? At least her character would have a damn reason to be there, right?
I think we have new memes for Geeks and Gamers now. Mustafar more like Mufasa because they Lion King the shit out of Rise of Skywalker. In the movie, was Lando hitting on her? Was he, Mark?
I mean, no. Like
I didn't pick up on that.
No, I don't think so.
Why not? They had to retcon Anakin's conception.
And I mean, honestly, like they could have got mixed up with the two different cuts. They could have had the JJ cut, the Kathleen Kennedy cut, the Bob Iger cut, and then one of them had Lando actually hitting on her, and then the other one had him being her dad. And they probably got it mixed up on jump cut scenes. So that wouldn't surprise me based on what we're seeing right now. So
I'm getting a whole lot of sure why not from this movie.
Go ahead.
Okay, Rey not only healed Kylo's face scar, but she killed Kylo when she healed Ben. Okay.
So is that implying that Ben Solo lived, but Kylo died? Is that what it's implying?
Well, we had heard in one of the cuts that he might live, I believe. I believe that he had lived in one of the cuts. So
right. But I think, I get what you mean. Does that mean like her kiss killed Kylo? Like, is she like Poison Ivy now?
Yeah, exactly.
Kylo ceased to exist when Rey healed him. I'm so glad I didn't watch this.
Yeah, sure.
My source mentioned that some people assume it was Han Solo who healed him. How? But that isn't true, and that wasn't Han Solo. It wasn't then. That was Leia using her own memories as well as Ben to create a physical manifestation of his own thoughts to nudge him towards what he needed to do. That was her own way of communicating with him, and it wasn't possible without her dying in the process. She made the ultimate sacrifice for her son, and this flew over people's heads with the Disney cut.
See, at least we could have gotten some. Look, it was so bad. Like, I literally had a guy walk out of my theater after that particular person, after Leia died, right?
Wow.
Because what we get just goes, oh, hey, guess if you say someone's name in the Force, you die, right?
Yeah.
Never mind that Luke did that in freaking Empire Strikes Back. He's just lost a hand. He's hanging off some railing. He's suffered some serious damage here, but he manages to say Leia's name just fine in the Force. Gets through the ordeal just fine, but Leia says Ben and keels right over. That's what we got. We needed some measure of understanding as to how the hell this could happen via the Force. This makes no damn sense.
I'm real quick. I just somebody was asking for links in the chat, so if we can hit some links in there, and then I'm gonna put Darth Barbie on blast because Darth Barbie, you had more than 500 likes on that tweet. You got to name your first son Baby Yoda.
I know. I hope I have a girl. Oh no.
So all right. Anyway, back to the point here. All right, go ahead, Lethal.
I'm confused just reading this. I feel sorry for you.
It's so bad.
The late November cut, the last cut JJ approved of, had scenes where Rose and Ray still. Okay. JJ wanted to give her a more meaningful arc. Disney felt that was too risky as well. My source mentioned that Chris Terrio said it was because of the Leia scenes, but this is only partially true because she had 4 other scenes, including with Ray/Daisy, that Leia was not in. I heard that they were putting the blame on Leia for Rose not having scenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Well, there was a feminist website that took it to the extreme. And they were really upset about it. And they basically said that Carrie Fisher, in her passing actually caused Rose Tico screen time. And I couldn't tell if it was satire, but I'm like, I don't even care if it's satire. It's really cringe. You know what I mean? Because they were really, they even brought in like the fact that it caused, less screen time for an Asian woman of color and all of this. And honestly, if you're a feminist website, you are satire anyway, whether you're trying to be or not. So really, it doesn't matter at this point. It's just like if you're a male feminist, you're a potential rapist, in my opinion. So, all right, go ahead.
God forbid she died, right? Finn wanting to tell Ray something was always meant to be that he was force sensitive. In the 3-hour cut, it's explicitly stated. There was a moment where Jana and he were running on top of the Star Destroyer and Finn needed to unlock or move something and he force moved it and he acted surprised when it happened. This was replaced with the CGI BB-8 fixing whatever he needed to fix on there. Ooh.
Yeah. And you haven't seen this movie, Lethal, correct?
Nope, I haven't seen it. I had a chance to watch it on Christmas Day with my cousin on a pirated copy that he had, and he said, "No, I don't want to torture myself."
It's understandable. It's understandable.
Damn integrity around here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go for it.
I don't know what this is. Baba Freak.
Baba Frick. Oh,
that's the monkey thing, yeah.
Yeah. He's actually. I actually liked Baba Frick. We know you are gonna like it, Krista. What did you think of it, Mary?
Sorry. I'm trying to tag my video. What?
That's okay. Baba Frick. Did you like Baba Frick? I actually enjoyed Baba Frick.
Baba Frick, is that from Solo?
No, that's the little bitty guy in
that
the Rise of Skywalker.
Fixing 3PO there.
Yeah.
Oh, the little
mechanic guy. Yeah.
I didn't give a shit.
The one with arms.
I didn't give a shit. He wasn't particularly interesting to me. He wasn't particularly. He didn't stand out in the film. There's so much shit went by so fast. There was no way to get a good because he wasn't even there long enough to garner a conclusion about how I felt about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. And I will get to all the super chats, everybody. We're trying to get through this first, and then I'll catch up to super chats. But I know everybody's tuning in because you want to hear this. And trust me, there's still some good stuff to get to. Go for it.
Baba Frick was nearly cut because some executives at Disney thought he would be the new Jar Jar. They're really surprised
No way.
Yeah. He was JJ's idea and was created in collaboration with some artists and puppeteers. The personality was all JJ, so JJ came up with how he talks and whatnot. I thought he was going to be a new Jar Jar, and everyone loved him in the end. So,
hey, I'm sorry, but I love Jar Jar.
Me too. All the way.
Yeah, Jar Jar for life. I'm all about Jar Jar rights. So,
is that because you think he's really the true Sith Lord?
There was once upon a time I looked up to Jeremy.
Respect to Jar Jar. I'll even admit, though, some of the Clone Wars episodes with him are really freaking.
I'm sorry, I can't respect the guy who keeps stepping in doo-doo.
Hey, Jar Jar is better than Rose and pretty much every Disney trilogy character. Okay.
God, I have to concede that shit.
Name me one character. What is this? Is it Mufasa Simba's dad account?
Oh my gosh.
And he's Australian. What a lad.
Is it Mustafar? That was Mustafa.
I love you people so much.
Oh, that's got to be the newest meme. Is it Mustafar, Simba's dad? I think is it Mustafar, Simba's dad? When I said Mustafar, I don't think that's
Mustafa.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so good. That's so good. Anyway, all right, get back to it, Lethal.
There are a bunch of scenes where Rey and Kylo separately went through quiet moments of reflection to deal with what they were going through. On her part, her going through the realization that there was something sinister about her past, him going through the regret and the remorse, but trying to shut it out. My source said that the Kylo scenes were especially amazing because of Adam Driver's performance and how he managed to portray the inner turmoil. I've been told that he's actually a good actor in this movie. It provided...
Yeah, he's actually I like Adam Driver a lot. I think Adam Driver's a really good actor. I don't think they've done him any favors with the writing, but yeah, I see this. Search up Geeks and Gamers Reddit on Google. You'll find so many SJWs trying to destroy your channel. They keep trying. That's what they do. That's why we appreciate all the support you guys give us. Smash the melee button if you do not mind, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. All right, continue on, Lethal.
It provided much more context and added deeper meaning to both his battle with Rey and the final redemption arc at the end. It didn't happen so suddenly, and it was more structured than what we got.
I mean,
anything could have been more structured.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, what wouldn't have been better at this point?
Where was it? Okay, the Kylo. Excuse me, the Kylo.
Okay, hang on. I saw a few people joining that wanted an update, so let me give you guys a quick update. Quick update, everybody. So about a couple of hours ago, this story was posted over on Saltier, then Crate over on Reddit, which is a great subreddit. I'm not the most Reddit knowledgeable person, but I do see some stuff over on Saltier than Crate. I think Lethal is pretty Reddit friendly or knowledgeable. Probably a lot of porn over there that he watches and checks out. So, but
you asked me for links the other night.
But anyway, so this basically, the quickest way I can break this down is that this is someone that was closely linked to the production of The Rise of Skywalker, and they are giving bullet points to explain how Disney essentially sabotaged J.J. Abrams and his vision of The Rise of Skywalker, and they had many reasons why they wanted to do that. One of the main reasons was because Disney was in the bidding war with Bad Robot last year, where essentially JJ ultimately went to Warner Brothers. As you know, the highly publicized contract with Warner Brothers, and Disney is very concerned with what JJ might be able to do with DC by getting some of their properties off the ground. Whether you love JJ or hate JJ, you have to at least you have to admit that the guy does know how to start franchises, and he really knows how to appeal to the general audience. There's absolutely no denying that. So that does make sense from that standpoint. JJ came on and he agreed to have more creative control with this film than he did with The Force Awakens. And about 2 weeks into shooting, it became pretty clear that they were trying to they were starting the meddling process already. Now, you've probably heard about this from movies like Batman versus Superman, Justice League, with a lot of the release the Snyder Cut stuff. And as someone that really was a critic of a lot of that stuff in the past, I think that we have to look at what's happened in the last couple of months. And the Snyder Cut is a real thing. And we just have to acknowledge that there was some meddling, regardless of how you feel about those movies, especially with Justice League. And so we're basically looking at a Justice League version of this. Now, the person that is giving this reporting said point blank that the version that they saw on the Rise of Skywalker on opening night is not the version that they worked on, because this is a person that worked on the film. So they did not even recognize this film. Now, one of the criticisms of this movie is that it feels like 3 or 4 movies shoved into one. The pacing is all over the place. It moves 90 miles an hour. All of the things that we've seen from this movie are starting to line up with a lot of the things being said here. Continue on, Lethal Lightning.
The Kylo racing where he dies was at least 4 minutes longer with more dialogue. Ben was always supposed to die. The source also added that if he wasn't, then he might have been given in an earlier draft that they didn't read. The first draft they read included Lando. The first few didn't. The Reylo kiss and Ben's death was not part of the reshoots. It was part of the re-editing. Even the cut that Jason
in just a minute, because if I can find it, and I'm going to revisit that in just a minute. So continue reading, but I want to revisit that Reylo part that you're talking about in just a minute. So go ahead and continue reading, and I'm going to do some searching really quick.
All right. It was part of the re-editing. Even the cut that JJ thought was coming out earlier this month had a longer version of that scene than what was shown in the theatrical cut. So he didn't even know what he was going to see when he went to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Poor man.
Can you imagine walking into work on Monday and you just, like, the week before, you wiped your hands, you're like, man, I did it, I'm done, right? Just gotta finish up these few last little things and it's gonna be great, right? And you walk in and you see that someone who is literally like you work with this guy, but you don't know him too well. He's always been a little weird. You walk in and you see him at your desk, and he's literally gone through and drawn on all your papers with crayon. And everything you did is destroyed. And you don't know how he got into your cubicle. You don't know why he went over there. You don't know why he did this shit. But now you got to redo all this shit and you don't have time. And this, can you imagine this position? God.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I see. Nobody's going to know what you're talking about, Krista, with that tweet you sent out.
Well, then but link to find out.
I know, it's so good. All right, so before you continue on, or reread that part about the Reylo kiss and all of that real quick, Lethal, and then I'm going to show something.
I'll just go from the start of that dot point.
Okay.
The Kylo racing where he dies was at least 4 minutes longer with more dialogue. Ben was always supposed to die. The source also added that if he wasn't, then that might have been in an earlier draft, which they haven't read. The first draft they read included Lando. The first few didn't. The Reylo kiss and Ben's death was not part of the reshoots. It was part of the re-editing.
Boom. Now, that point right there, I'm going to remove you for a minute from here. Now, look at this right here. I'm going to do a screen share. This was a couple of days ago over on Reddit. And this is Reylos have discovered that the ending of the Rise of Skywalker was rushed out with reused footage from a different scene due to massive late rewrites. And I'm not going to click on this, but it's basically, well, you know what, I will. I'm not going to click on this, but I'm going to take it here if this is still up. But so basically, they're showing that this picture with Rey was actually a different scene, and they placed her at a different background. and they are really frustrated by it. And if you go down here, there's people just talking about all the different scenarios going on. And then they talk about the fact that in the movie, Reylo, she's bonded to Kylo Ren by this fucking dyad or whatever the hell they called it. And they're bonded by the Force, they're bonded by family, they're bonded by love, whatever. But in the end of the movie, she doesn't even give a shit that he's dead. She's standing there smiling. In the movie, she was more upset when Chewie fake died than when Ben Solo really died. Now let's look at the scenario here. He comes out of the pit. I hate to say it how it was in the leaks, but he drains his life force into her, bringing her back to life. I think Lethal was probably watching that movie earlier. And so he drains his life force into her, brings her back to life, and then they do the Reylo kiss, and then into the movie, she's not sad. She's not upset. She's smiling, looking over the twin suns. She didn't even give a shit. So that tells us that all of this was just added in by, what did you just say, Lethal? With the re-edits, not reshoots.
Yeah.
So let's get back to that.
Is that screen sharing again?
Yep, you're on.
Okay. JJ was against the Reylo kiss, or Reylo in general. That was Disney's attempt to please both sides of the fandom.
Yeah, good job, Disney.
Yeah, you totally made those Reylos thrilled with everything as they're screaming "fuck" and running out with their hair on fire, threatening J.J. Abrams the next. Look. You can say that we got passionate. You can say that we got overzealous. You can say that we did a lot of things, and I would disagree with you. But what you can't say legitimately is that we ever threatened anybody, or we ever tried to show up at their house, or threaten their families, or give them wooden statues of their own dogs. We've never done shit like that. We didn't stop eating our food. We didn't stop taking our meds. We didn't lose sleep. We didn't lose. Look, we realized that at the end of the day, this is in fact a fictional story, and we didn't get hung up on the fact that we couldn't date Kylo Ren, right? Died. But these people are saying, so good job pleasing those insane lunatics. You did a great job there. I would love to see more of these wonderful attempts you do to please everybody, Disney, because you fucked it up so bad.
I know, right? Attempt to please everybody. Kill the character off.
Oh, Skywalker's gone.
Just saying. You can't make crazy chicks happy. That's what I'm saying.
I gotta show the look, and this is, so many people are confused right now by this, and I think it's fantastic. Let me boom, look at this. Mustafar Simba's dad.
God.
Nobody knows what you're talking about, probably.
Oh, they will if they click the link.
All right, go back to Lethal.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay.
So good. All right.
JJ was not happy with The Last Jedi where it took the story. The final result is a mix of that story and the story told by Disney and whoever they try to impress, certainly not the fans. JJ is gutted over the final result. Star Wars means a lot to him. He had to sacrifice large chunks of the story in The Force Awakens, but he was promised more creative control in Rise of the Skywalker, and instead the leash they had him on was only tightened as time went by. A source said that this is the one franchise and the one piece of his work that he didn't want to mess up, and instead it turned into the worst nightmare. Wow. When he found out that he was blindsided with the cut they presented, he said, "What the fuck?" And when Kylo was fighting Knights of Ren, and at the end of the Williams music that was used for it, it was not what he wanted at all. He seemed to think it was out of place. Poor lad.
Wow.
Wow. There was so much shit that was out of place in that movie. Look, it would have taken a complete and utter retard to look at that film and go, yeah, this is releasable. This is fine. This is fine. Like, yeah. I think JJ's a hack, but I also have a hard time believing that he would have ever released something like what we got. I really do have a hard time believing that J.J. Abrams looked at that and went, it looks great, guys. Go ahead. It's good. I really don't believe that. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, Lethal, I know you haven't seen it. You need to watch it on not pay for it, by the way, but you need to watch it. Krista, I know when you came out of it, like I said, I honestly thought you were even going to, because I know you typically try to look at things more positively than a lot, and I was shocked. I was shocked how you felt when we talked, when you came out of that, because you generally had the same response as everybody. You're like, oh my God,
because it's true. There's no storyline. It's just, yeah. So, I mean, I liked The Force Awakens, but after Last Jedi, it ruined it for me.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people went into this movie expecting this to, it seemed like, I'm shocked that they left the FU moments to Rian Johnson in this movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm shocked by. Now, if everybody is joining us, we are now mods. Mary Mayhem and Darth Barbie, they're going to be dropping links in the chat, and it can reroute you over to these Reddit leaks. This Reddit post. I'm so used to saying Reddit leaks after all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, but basically, we have gotten a story that released a few hours ago over on Reddit from someone that was closely linked to the Rise of Skywalker, production. And essentially this is something that they are making a very, very strong and believable case that J.J. Abrams, his vision for Episode 9 was completely sabotaged by Disney for a lot of different reasons. And we just read through this entire thing. And I'm going to release a video on this tomorrow on Geeks and Gamers. Mary, you're going to release one. I don't know if Lethal has anything planned. But
I might talk about the DC side of it.
Yeah, that's actually a good angle for you too. And if you wanted to make one for Geeks and Gamers, feel free to do that too. But this is huge. This is huge news. And the fallout for this movie, again, we got John Boyega posting spoilers, and then he's being called a misogynist by the Reylo crowd. And if there are any... Yeah.
You gotta lay that pipe, Jeremy. So he's a total spectacle.
Exactly. And I just want to say, I understand my position. I'm the creator of Geeks and Gamers. I'm the owner of the website, yada yada yada. And I have to think about the words I say, and I want to be very, very understanding about what I'm going to say. If you are a Reylo and you're watching this video, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself sideways. Any which way you can, just get the fuck away from me, because you're
Jeremy in the left here.
Exactly. You're a weird fucking person, and I don't want to be near you. If you're subscribed to this channel, you're a Reylo. Unsubscribe and go find some weirdo fan fucking art channel, because this ain't it. You fucking freaks. That's about as respectful as I can keep it right now. So
I'll tell you one thing. On my channel, when I first started my channel, the only word that I've banned in my channel is Reylo. If you type in Reylo, it just won't come up. And that was like one of the first things I did with my channel. That word is banned over there.
Those people are fucking weird, man. They really are. Like the video, everybody. If you're watching, we're probably going to move over to super chats now. We did a recap of everything. I don't want to keep everybody up too late. I know, Mary, you've got some stuff you've got to get to. Are you good for a while? Lethal, Barbie, you guys good for a while?
Yeah, I'm good.
I've got about 30 minutes or so.
Okay, Mary.
Yeah, I can hang for another 30 or so.
Okay, cool. So then I know we've got 3,700 people watching. So since you're here and you want to hear more about this, I know a lot of you are tuning in that you haven't and you don't know what's going on. So let's open the discussion back up. Let's go back to the story. So and we'll just kind of, instead of read all the way through it, let's just hit on some of the points. Mary, do you have it pulled up where you can do the screen share, or do you want to let Lethal do it again?
I literally just closed the damn thing, but I can open it because I have it copied.
Okay, so go ahead and I'll let you do it, because huh?
I've still got the screen tab open. If that's easier.
Well, whatever works. I mean, Mary, what do you want to do? I just want to let Mary have the chance to read off on it this time instead.
Yeah.
Okay, since she's on screen now, I didn't know if you'd be able to be on camera. So
yeah, I just finished getting it uploaded, so it's I should hopefully, in theory, be clear now, so you guys can actually see what the hell's going on.
Okay.
Here we go. Saltier than crate. Wow.
All right. So yeah, and I just want to hit, we can just kind of skim some of it, some of the more important aspects, just so I can set the table for everybody watching. If you're still here, before I ran people off because I said we're not going to talk about them, and then I changed my mind. But that's what happens when you're from Alabama and potentially have family members that are parents, but what do you want me to do? I did pretty good. Okay. And it fits right in with, the whole Reylo thing, right? Fuck you, Reylos, by the way. All right. This is a story posted over on Saltier Than Crate, and it is basically very, really interesting. It's bullet points from someone that was close to the production of Rise of Skywalker, and they're basically making a very strong and believable case that J.J. Abrams and his vision for Episode 9 was sabotaged.
And
so, Mary...
I even like why. So the very first thing that they say is that they do is explain why it is that they are even wanting to do this in the first place, is because they consider J.J. Abrams to be a very respectable person, a very respectful person who they've enjoyed working with, and so they feel like it's really ridiculous that he's been getting this sort of bad rap.
Somebody got a siren in the background. So mute if you can. Is that you?
Not me.
Yeah, that's probably a fire. Actually, I'll mute.
Okay, well, go make sure you're okay, man. So
nah, we'll be good. It's
okay. Okay.
So they're making the case that the whole reason that they're even wanting to do this is because they feel like J.J. Abrams is getting a bad rap. He's taking the downfall for this movie that is, look, by all Star Wars standards, is bombing, right? It's not going to make as much money as The Last Jedi did. It's absolutely a shit show. Even the critics can't deny how shit show this movie is, right? And so they're like, hey, it's not fair that J.J. Abrams is getting the rap for all of this when, hey guys, guess what's actually going down? And so they're essentially busting Disney out, and they're saying that the studio was one of the Disney was one of the studios who were in that Bad Robot bidding last year, not because they had any interest in Bad Robot as a company, but because they did in JJ, who they saw Warner Brothers, who JJ did go with in the end, as a major threat, right? So they go through and explain that the reason that Disney would have sabotaged JJ Abrams for this entire thing is because he is a threat. The only real thing that stands to be an issue for them moving forward is if DC gets off their ass and makes something special out of what they have. And they absolutely have stuff to work with here, right? The DC property, if handled correctly and if taken over in a good way, is a huge threat to where they stand with being the leaders in all of this. So they're willing to sort of take a dive with Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, if they can undermine J.J. Abrams' ability to go in and do something special with DC. Now, whether or not you agree with the fact that DC or J.J. Abrams is good for DC, this may in fact impact your opinion of him, right? This may in fact, what you see with The Rise of Skywalker, impact whether or not you believe J.J. Abrams can do a good job with the DC stuff. And that's what this person is trying to call out here. So Warner Brothers wants Abrams for the DC projects. My source said that this generation Star Wars is the MCU. And the Marvel's biggest threat is a well-operational DC. They want to keep DC in the limbo that they're in right now. And Abrams jump-starting that franchise with something like a successful audience-pleasing Superman movie makes them nervous. Go figure. Disney figures out how to be nervous. Good job.
Yep.
So JJ was devastated and blindsided by what it was that they put out there. So he said, the source mentioned that shortly after the premiere, the Rise of Skywalker we saw last night was not the Rise of Skywalker we thought we worked on. So what you got in the movie theater wasn't even what J.J. Abrams was aware was going to happen. So he was devastated by that, and he was blindsided by that. He'd been feeling down for over the last 6 months because of some of the ridiculous demands that Disney had changed, demands Disney had that changed his movie's story. Not that this movie was changed, but that it literally changed the story he told. The story we got was not what it was that J.J. Abrams wanted to tell. And so people are bound, like doubtless people are going to be saying #release the Abrams cut after this, right? So
it's going to be so funny. I'm so looking forward to the release the Abrams cut. Oh, it's going to be so great. And then we're eventually going to have JJ, or we're going to have John Boyega come out and support it, Daisy Ridley and Oscar Isaac, and then Big Daddy himself, Luke Skywalker, is eventually going to be like, release the JJ cut, and then the Star Wars fandom is going to lose its mind. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. When I said that at the end of the post, that there is a JJ cut. There's absolutely an Abrams cut out there, but we won't get it unless it's leaked. So people are bound to start calling for that. I'll call for it. I'll call for it, because there's no way what they give us or what JJ gives us is worse than what we already got. There's no way.
Yeah.
It could not be more disjointed and more of a mess than what we got. So to run a lot of this stuff down. And I wrote down some points from my own damn video earlier. So I'll just, instead of reading this whole damn post, get to that. So he reportedly, when he went in, and this was how bad it got. So apparently J.J. Abrams is not a yelling kind of guy, right? Apparently he's the kind of guy who's pretty chill and laid back. But he went into the office one day and he literally yelled at them, "Why don't you just put written and directed by Lucasfilm on there?"
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And so good, so good. I mean, I could totally see that happening. I absolutely could see that happening. You know, and you know, look at, I don't know, what do you think about all this, Krista?
All this
nonsense.
At least we got the Mandalorian though, Baby Yoda.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at that; it's a great point. You know, I mean, look at look. Regardless if you love, like, or hate the Mandalorian, what you can admit is that it seems like there's at least some type of structure to that. You know, and it's resonating with a lot of people on the internet, and so it's moving the needle. So it's a great point, and I think that's the best point that you can make is like, all right. There is some positivity here, but what's clear is that the film division of Lucasfilm is a freaking disaster. It's an absolute disaster. And yeah, Mark the Cyborg. So Baby Yoda is love. Baby Yoda is life. That will make Darth Barbie happy. All right, continue on Mary Mayhem.
So there's a lot of stuff that goes down in here, but there's also another point that I really loved, and it makes sense to me because look, JJ, if nothing else, I do believe that the guy legitimately loves Star Wars and that he was devastated by this. I do believe that. And if he went to Disney, and if this post is true, and what it says in it was true, and I believe it was confirmed in a different source as well elsewhere. I think the other writer, Chris Terrio, said this, that the JJ went to Lucasfilm and said, "I want to do this in 2 movies. I would like to do this in 2 movies."
You remember who said that a while back? Do you remember? Right here on this channel, well before we knew anything about this movie, I said that you have to split this movie into 2 parts to clean up the mess from The Last Jedi. I said you have to have Luke Skywalker alive. I don't care how you make this happen, but Luke has to be alive. You have to split this movie into 2 parts. You have to fix The Last Jedi disaster in the first part, and then that gives you time to, give us a proper ending. So
yeah, and I absolutely believe that J.J. Abrams went to bat for that, because why would he want to walk away from a mess, from a shit show, right? Why would he want his name and his credibility is completely damaged here? And there's no way. Look, novices could look at that and go, "There's no way you can wrap this up legitimately in a single film." Anybody with brains and eyes to see looked at that and knew you needed either an insanely long, at least 3-hour film, or you needed 2 films. And I would have shot for 2 films personally, right? Like, because there's a lot to put people through in one setting. You need people to have time to sit and sort of absorb everything that's gone down. So why would Disney leave 2 films off of the table? Why would you do that? Why would Disney do that to themselves? Well, look, if they felt like this was unsalvageable, then they would absolutely, I don't see a problem with coming to the conclusion that they would absolutely go ahead and sacrifice episode 9. It's not like they cared about this product in the first place. There was no love or passion or zeal behind it for them. This whole preserving the characters and the way that George Lucas gave them to us, that was never a goal. Pleasing the fans was never a goal. Your money was their goal, right? So if they felt like, hey, we've got a win-win situation here, we're gonna make $1 billion off of this. We're Disney. We made $1 billion off of the shittiest Lion King remake. Freaking Kimba the White Lion looked better than that. I'm just saying, it was stupid shit, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna make $1 billion. That was going to happen, right? So why not go ahead and leave the 2 movies off of the table? Don't worry about it. And in the process, take down this person who is an adversary. And trust me, Disney saw him as an adversary. Never for 2 seconds did they look at J.J. Abrams and go, "Hey, that's our buddy right there." They absolutely stabbed him in the back. I believe that 110%. So I don't see any reason why they would have left two movies off the table and all of the money that they could have garnered from that if they'd put the time and energy into it, unless they felt like it was a lost cause and they could at least get J.J. Abrams' credibility taken down for it. So,
yeah, 100%. I mean, and look, even the critics panned to this movie, which is shocking. But even from a critical standpoint, it's just not a good movie. It's not a well-structured movie. It's not well put together. Some of the stuff doesn't make any sense, and it moves way too fast, and you can't even catch your breath. So, all right, do you have where you want to continue, Mary? Mary's on fire, by the way. Mary's on fire. Lethal's been kicking ass, and Darth Barbie is her first time streaming on Geeks and Gamers. She's nervous. I know she's nervous.
Very nervous.
Are you okay? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. And she told me, like, she said, if there's 100 people watching, I'm going to be nervous. And I was like, well, and Mary and I definitely know that Krista has a fantastic personality, and I can't wait for you guys to see this side of her. But you go over to her channel, subscribe right now, Darth Barbie. So Lethal Lightning, also subscribe to Lethal and subscribe to Mary, because these are 3 people that are on the Geeks and Gamers team. They mean the world to me. So if you're subscribed to this channel, you should be subscribed to them. I don't really like Lethal that much, but I have to deal with him.
I was just about to say, for an American, you're not that bad, I guess.
Some love in the chat, guys. We got to break her in. We got to get her past this stuff. Show her some love in the chat, guys. And definitely go check out her channel.
For those of you that have watched Geeks and Gamers for a while, and there's a lot of similarities with Krista, Darth Barbie, and Jedi Bunny Kelly. And you guys saw Kelly didn't upload a video for a year. A year, but now you see Kelly, and she's doing live streams. You know, she's uploading some videos. So Darth Barbie is she's gonna be on that same path. So really excited. But anyway, continue on, Mary, and you're firing away, and you're doing awesome.
So. Mary, sorry, before you go, that this is exactly how Release the Snyder Cut movement started, and look where we've taken it in 2 years. So have faith, Star Wars fans, have faith.
Hell yeah. But this is what I said to you guys. You know, you guys know, you, Ryan, Uche, all part of the Geeks and Gamers, you guys know I'm not a fan of the DCEU with Snyder's vision. I'm not. And I kind of joked on the whole Release the Snyder Cut for a long time. And when I saw Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot and who else? Momoa and just the stars, and then Zack Snyder actually said, I was like, dude, regardless of how I feel about that, I'm so happy for those fans. I genuinely am happy for them, because I can't imagine with you guys fighting for that for so long, to see that all come together with those names. It's amazing. So anyway, go ahead.
I'm doing this. I'm joining the tinfoil hat club.
Oh boy.
I can't help it. Okay, like there's just too much on the table here. Look, I'll start screaming, release the Snyder Cut if it means we can get the Abrams cut. Let's do it. So there's a lot. And look, there's a lot of stuff in this post that lends credibility to what it is that they're saying. Things that we've independently confirmed, independently heard of, rumors that have leaked and been flying around for ages. Things like, you guys remember back in the day when they were talking about, hey, remember Hayden Christensen? He's on the set, guys. He's gonna be in this film. Right? So there's stuff like that in here that absolutely lends some credibility to that. Where the hell did that just go? There we go. So the ending, remember the ending where it was really stupid and you just hear a bunch of voices all floating around and you're like, the fuck is this shit? And you don't know exactly what the hell it's even supposed to mean, just that she's got some Force ghosty ghosts talking to her. So this is something that it actually validates some of the rumors that we had heard before. So the ending that will blow your mind was a part of this. Older actors were included, like Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, Samuel L. Jackson, and anyone who wasn't animated. So I'm assuming that they're referring to Ahsoka Tano there. The Force ghosts weren't meant to be voices because they shot that footage.
You're echoing a little bit, Mary.
Am I?
Mm-hmm. Not sure why.
I hear the echo too. So
I don't know what happened. It's kind of strange.
I'm going to assume. Hey, Lethal, can you mute real quick?
I was muted.
You were muted.
Yeah.
Hell? Hold on, I have an idea. Let me turn this down just a little bit here.
Okay.
Does that help?
They said it's the tinfoil hat. No, I don't. I doubt it.
I felt a little stupid right there. Anyway,
I think you're good. I think you're good though. After the tinfoil hat's off.
I knew it. So, but no. So, like, there's this. The Force ghosts weren't meant to be voices. They shot that footage. They shot that footage on camera. The actors were in costumes. Rey was supposed to be surrounded by the Force ghosts to serve an actual purpose here, guys. Not just like, oh hey, you can do it and we believe in you. They were meant to be there to serve an actual purpose, to serve as a barrier between her and the Sith.
All right, hang on a minute. We got a twat waffle in the chat. If you believe this story, you need to grow a brain. I mean, really? like, again, I'm not a grammar Nazi per se, but like, if you're gonna come in here and if you're gonna talk some shit, can you at least spell your fucking insults correctly? Can you please do that with your no fucking avatar account? You dumb twat waffle. Okay, continue on, Mary.
Sorry. Rey was supposed to be surrounded by the Force ghosts to serve as a sort of barrier between her and the Sith surrounding them. And look, I think that would have at least made some damn sense, that if they had a purpose there, if they were meant to be there as something other than moral support for our wonderful little Mary Ray Sue, right? Okay, guys, come on, she can do it, right? They served no purpose in the movie that we got except for nostalgia. That's the only reason that they were there. That's the only reason that we even had them there. But if they had a purpose, if they had an actual purpose, that would have been something that at least would have made sense. And I don't know. I tend to think that J.J. Abrams at least might have had a purpose for them being there, because you do have to validate it to some extent, right? So, and also it's verified, well, not verified, but it's validated by the rumors that we heard that Hayden Christensen was on set. Ewan McGregor was on set, that there were these people who were here and involved in this film that we never saw show up on screen.
I'm sorry. I know we're just roasting this guy right now. I'm so sorry, but it's so good. It's just
smash the like button if you have a fully grew brain.
Jeremy, you're clearly not with the times. Grew is the right way of saying it now. Saying grow is misogynistic and sexist now. All right, continue firing away, Mary, because you have been on fire.
Oh, so Disney demanded that they shoot some of these scenes that would have things in it for merchandise, because that sounds exactly like something Disney would do, right? Like the "they fly now" is one of them. It's also JJ's least favorite scene. At a November screening of a 237 cut, he cringed, groaned, and laughed when the scene was on. My source says that JJ was most likely not joking when he said "you're right" in the interview where they asked him about the Rise of Skywalker criticism. So JJ's original early November cut was 3 hours and 2 minutes long. And look, I buy that, right? Because we've got such a disjointed, disconnected mess on screen. You had to cut out a massive amount of footage to have what we have on screen. There has to be so much missing. Things that don't make sense. Things like Finn going, "I gotta tell you something, Rey. I gotta tell you something, Rey. Rey, I gotta tell you something. What do you want to tell her?" Never mind.
Nothing.
Yeah, it just never happened.
It went nowhere. No.
It would like right there. That is evidence right there that this movie was kind of pieced together exactly how the quote from JJ says. Now, again, I want to say this. I know I need to say this for all the soy boys out there, for all of the people that really, really offended. We understand that this does not, we're not saying this is true. We're not saying that this is fact. We're saying that this is out there. It's a story and we're speculating on it. And when you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, all the pieces are starting to fit into place. Again, that doesn't make it true, but it does seem like there's a lot of meat to this bone. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, and a lot of it lines up with a lot of the stuff that Doomcock was saying, right? So #Doomcock was right. So the whole thing about there being like several different cuts of the film, and how essentially this post describes it as being whittled away underneath of J.J. Abrams' feet, that he started with one thing and then he wound up with another thing and then they took more of that away, and things that they grew now.
They grew now. They grew now? They grew now?
That's right. Release the Abrams cut, you dummies.
I love the Geeks and Gamers. I love the Geeks and Gamers community. I really do. So, all right, go ahead.
Well, and look, there were a lot of people calling this stuff out here in the Fandom Menace. Midnight's Edge was calling it out. Doomcock was calling it out, that there were multiple cuts of this film released, that there were several different takes, and that this lines up with stuff that we've already kind of garnered some knowledge of here within the Fandom Menace, right? So it started off with J.J. Abrams and the George Lucas stuff, where they thought that they had something where, because he went in demanding, like, look, I will only do this with creative freedom, right? Reportedly, George Lucas was in there and he was working with him hand in hand, that they were putting together something that they felt would at least work, right? And we'd heard reports of the sun from the Clone Wars being in there, right? That's where the dagger is a remnant of that, right? That you had characters who were completely cut out of this, and then it got whittled away further, and more and more and more they tightened the noose around J.J. Abrams' neck until the product that we got didn't even resemble what it was that he had initially begun with. And so this does line up with those reports that we've gotten over and over again. And so huge credit to Doomcock, huge credit to Midnight's Edge for being able to sort of figure that stuff out and to report on that to us ahead of time, because this lines up with that so well. So apparently the cut JJ eventually and hesitantly agreed to in early December was 2 hours and 37 minutes long. It wasn't the cut we saw, which he wouldn't have approved of, and which is 2 hours and 22 minutes long. Apart from the ghost scenes, from the ghosts, there were other crucial and emotional scenes missing. The cut they released looked chopped and taped back together with weak Scotch tape, and those are apparently JJ's words.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to highlight Mecha Random 42 just because there's somebody on Twitter crying because she commented earlier, and so I just wanted to highlight her again and say, "Hi, Mecha Random. We're just enjoying the tears that flow every time you comment." So there we go. Oh, so it's so upsetting when a girl comments on the internet.
Oh no,
it hurts.
I didn't think we existed, Jeremy.
I know. Well, basically what happens is, unfortunately there's a person on Twitter and he just realized that Mecha won't fuck him. So therefore he had to complain and make shit up about her. It's typical male feminist behavior. If you ever watched like PewDiePie's Nice Guy, those, and they're like, "Oh, hi, you're so cute." Blah, 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 blah. And then 20 minutes later, "Bitch, shut the fuck up. You don't respond to me." It's like a male feminist. They just freak out.
Bob's and Vaganas.
Bob's and Vaganas. Yes, exactly. So this is typical male feminist behavior. What happens is, what they did is they created this narrative around geeks and gamers that we hate women and we hate minorities. And then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh shit, wait. Yeah.
Sorry,
Wrong memo. I'll send you the memo though. No, but they created this narrative because they watched one video from me where I criticized the forced diversity within Star Wars and Hollywood. They go, "Oh, he just hates women and minorities." And all of a sudden, oh, we have women and non-white dudes all over the channel. And they're like, "Oh, well, and then they just make a new set of rules up for something to discredit geeks and gamers, because that is what male feminists and SJWs do. If you don't like the channel, you don't have to watch it. And if you think that there's positive news out there that can be covered, go fucking find it. There's plenty of shill Star Wars channels out there. Star Wars Explained being one of them. You can go watch them and you can be happy with all of that. But other than that, let's get back to the fireworks that Mary Mayhem has been spewing. She's been spewing some fireworks. All right, go for it.
It just gives us a lot of different examples of the stuff of the things that were cut from the movie itself, things that might have made things a little less disjointed, a little more cohesive for us. So the Kylo on Mustafar scene, and that's the big meme now, right? Like Mustafa. That's we're not talking about Simba's dad, folks. Mustafar was the planet on which Anakin, died and burnt to death. And it's the one that apparently, although you wouldn't know it from the movie you saw on screen, that apparently Kylo Ren was doing all that stuff on the beginning of the movie, right? So apparently the Kylo on Mustafar scene was 2 minutes longer. There was a moment where Kylo seemed a bit dizzy and his vision was shown as blurry for a second, almost as if time half stopped, while everyone in the background was slow-mo fighting. And Kylo hears Vader's...
Hang on, Mary. Hang on. I got to highlight this one. I'm sorry. I know I keep interrupting you, but Jeremy needs to grow a brain. Jeremy needs to grow a brain. That is fantastic. Is that what you were laughing at, Lethal? Is that what? Okay, I figured so. All right. Go ahead, Mary.
You're good. So apparently Kylo hears Vader's breathing and then shakes his head, and time goes back to moving at a normal pace, and he jumps right back into the battle. The scene from the trailer where he knocks that guy down, which did end up in the movie later. So we're talking about you essentially getting a better grip on the fact that there's a presence here that Kylo Ren is having to deal with. You're not thrown immediately into Palpatine's back, guys, because he's not dead now, and like you have a bit of a better grip on on everything, right? So apparently they cut a lot of this stuff, and it goes on with further examples of what was cut. They cut some of the scenes from the light speed skipping segment, where some of the planets that were cut were Kashyyyk, Naboo, and Kamino. And if you're not familiar with those, then go watch the prequels or the Clone Wars. Those will be helpful for that. The scene where the TIE fighters are chasing them through the iceberg, those corridors were inspired by a video game JJ used to play in the 90s called Rebel Assault 2.
You're echoing again.
That's so weird.
I know. I don't know why that's happening.
I took the tinfoil hat off, Jeremy. I don't
Grew it. Give into the merchandising. I love that we've just had so many memes created from this. We are. I don't know if we broke 4,000 viewers, but I want to tell everyone we thank you all for being here. We really appreciate you. Tuning into the Geeks and Gamers live stream. My name is Jeremy. I am joined by Mary Mayhem. If you are not subscribed to her channel, please do so. She is part of the Geeks and Gamers team. I am joined by Lethal Lightning, the second most handsome man on YouTube behind Drunk 3PO.
Recount.
And the newest member of the Geeks and Gamers team, Krista Nova, better known as Darth Barbie.
Hello.
Are you still nervous with 4,000 people watching?
Very nervous, and I also have to be quiet because it's 3 a.m. where I'm at.
That is true. But here's a good question for you, Krista, right there. Darth Barbie, do you like chocolate chip cookies?
Love chocolate chip cookies. Yes, my favorite dessert ever.
All right, back to it. But we are reading these leaks. I'm sorry, I keep seeing leaks because we covered the leaks for so long. But this is a new post over on Saltier Than Crate over on Reddit. And Jeremy say Rise Skywalker in the accent. Rise Skywalker. I'm a Rise Skywalker. I'm a Rise Skywalker.
I'm a Jedi from Jakku.
Oh, God. So bad. Rise Skywalker. I know it's bad. It's meant to be bad, and it's still better than Disney's trilogy. All right, go ahead, Mary.
So one of the things that they go over here in the stuff that was cut. So for those of you, spoilers if you don't already know, what are you doing here? So spoilers for the movie. There at the end, there's this character called Jannah who has no freaking place in this movie except.
Some of us haven't seen it yet, Mary.
Well, yeah, but you could have seen it, Lethal. So I have no pity for you. So there's this chick in the movie, Jannah, I don't know how you're supposed to say her name. She winds up, she's the other black stormtrooper who defected, right? And she's, because there are 3 black people in the galaxy now, guys. And so apparently there was a really heavy indication that
because that needs to be a thing right there, Mary. That has to be a thing.
Just being a fandom menace groupie.
Groupie with that type of spelling.
Is your brain
so good. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So at the end of the movie, she's sitting there on a log, and the whole yub nub scenes. It's a celebration. We're rehashing the Return of the Jedi, right? And she's sitting there on a log with one of the only 2 other black people in the entire galaxy, chilling out with Mando. And I don't know why. There's no indication as to why they engage in this conversation. Why are you talking to this complete stranger about the fact that you have no family, right? Like I have no.
Can we say Mary is on fucking fire tonight? Like, can we just acknowledge that? Can we get flame emojis in the chat for Mary? Sub to Mary Mayhem. She is on fire tonight. The only 2 black people in the galaxy.
I'm saying. So she's chilling out with Lando on a log for no apparent reason that we know of. I guess they convened together, right? Because go in your corner where you belong together, right? Because there's nobody else for her to talk to. There's not like a bunch of other people all sitting around you. If you're gonna pick a rando person to go engage in a conversation with about your childhood and how you're missing your family, you just got to find the other black guy to do that, right? Sitting there on the log with him, and they're going at it. She's explaining. He's like, "Well, let's just go on a little hunt for your family throughout the galaxy." Well, apparently, what was cut, what was left completely and utterly unambiguous, something that we should have seen and would have at least made some damn sense, is Lando's her daddy. Who's your daddy? Lando's your daddy. Of course he is, because if anybody's going to be your daddy, it's going to be Lando Calrissian. So I'm just saying they shouldn't have been on the log together if they're not going to go ahead and follow that through. There was no reason for it in what we got in the film. So Jannah was confirmed to be Lando's daughter in apparently J.J. Abrams' cut.
And like, what's up with the parenting in these movies?
I was just gonna say that with the Disney Star Wars. What is it with, like, the parents just leaving and not knowing their kids?
Yeah, I mean, it's really bad
stuff. You know, you're not allowed to have parents when you're.
I mean, it kind of goes in the, like, if you go back to even Toy Story, you know, single parents, you know, there's a lot of single parent elements to it, yet there's supposed to be this wholesome family company thing. It's really strange, but yeah, it's true. Mary Groomus. So I fully expect to see hang on, where did it go? I fully expected to see a shit ton of memes. Where did it go? The Grudum Menace, but there was another one. Where did it go? Oh, I can't find it. Somebody said it was where the hell did it go? I'm not leaving till I find it. All right. Somebody said gruesome though. Said it was pretty gruesome, but they spell Gru, you know, like
I want to see some I am Groots out there.
I saw it.
So good. But yeah, if you're just joining, we had someone that kind of came in here and they said, if you believe this story, you need to grew a brain. And we roasted them because, again, I'm not a you know, grammar Nazi, but if you're gonna insult somebody, don't give them that type of ammo, you know, at least have proper spelling. I'm just saying.
You started it, we'll finish it, don't give us the ammo, that's all.
I am Groot. There it is right there. I don't know if that's the first, but that's
I am Groot.
I want to see so many let the Gru flow through you. I fully expect to see these memes on Twitter like crazy. So all right, let's go. Oh, there you go. Darth Barbie, it's a question for you.
Huh? Oh,
why do you like porgs?
Because they're cute and I like things that are cute.
Simple answer. All right, get back to the fire, Mary.
A simple answer from a simple woman, Jeremy. We can
respond. Right. That's right. That's right.
So the late November cut, the last cut JJ approved of, had scenes with Rose and Rey still. JJ wanted to give her a more meaningful arc. Disney felt that was too risky. My source, and look, that was something we clearly saw on screen. Clearly, what we got was the diminished role of Rose Tico. And there are so many. Look, I was going through today looking for articles on what to talk about for my channel, and there were like 3 or 4 different articles about Rose Tico, and I had covered it, but I don't give a shit, right? So there are a lot of people who are ticked off about Rose Tico not having the kind of role that they feel like she deserved in this, because in the last movie she had such a giant role. It didn't mean anything, it didn't do anything, it didn't have any impact on the plot, but there it was, right? So a lot of people are frustrated and upset about that, and it's very clear and apparent on screen. So Disney was clearly happy to let J.J. Abrams take the rap for that. But if we're to believe this post here, it looks like this was something that was brought about by Disney themselves, that the scenes with Rey and Rose, JJ wanted her to have a more meaningful arc, and Disney felt that it was just too risky. My source mentioned that Chris Terrio said that it was because of the Leia scene, but this is only partially true, because she had 4 other scenes, including 2 with Rey/Daisy, that Leia was not in, and they apparently cut those scenes. And look, if you're in there with the scissors and you're cutting shit all over the place, I mean, if you're gonna cut anybody, I'm glad you cut Rose, but just don't stand there and act like it didn't piss people off, because you didn't make anybody happy with this movie, and don't let JJ take the fall for it when you're the ones doing this shit. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and again, we don't know if this is true, but once we start putting the pieces together, it does appear to be true. I know there's a lot of super chats we got to get to. I got to highlight this one right here, though, because this is fucking gorgeous right here. Lots of trees grew on Mufasa. Oh, my God. Daniel Evans, you just won. Oh, my God. Lots.
Have you noticed how all the funniest ones are always Australians?
Oh, Australia representing. Oh my gosh, so good. All right, Mary, continue.
So here's another great example of some of the stuff that was cut, stuff that didn't make any damn sense in the movie that we got. Now, we did get, the explanation, Finn is force sensitive. We got that. And we also had a bunch of scenes where Finn was trying to tell, Ray, I got to tell you something. Ray, I should probably tell you something. Hey, Ray, I got to tell you something. What? I forgot, right? Like, it just never happened. It never happened.
And then JJ had to tell people after the fact. It's like, no, that's not how this works.
Nope.
It's not how this works. And that was a prompt. Like, you want to look at this, and there is a little bit of echo from my end now, I hear. I don't know if somebody's, I know Lethal's muted. Can you mute for a minute, Mary?
Yeah.
See, tech. Yep. Yeah, it was echoing on yours for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Mother trucking piece of poo.
Okay. Yeah, it's so, but you look at, all right, let's eliminate how much we hate this trilogy for a minute, okay? And let's just look at this. And by the way, Bobby Vicious, thank you so much for that. That's incredible. We are the true fans. We are true geeks. We are true gamers. Their mind tricks won't work and never will work on us. Hail. Thank you. That's freaking amazing. I'm going to go back to that later on. But yeah, so if we eliminate how much we hate this trilogy, let's just look at it. And who are some of the, like, what is the most prominent relationship in this trilogy? It's Rey and it's Finn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's absolutely Rey and Finn. Well, you can't.
You could argue Reylo, but that's only because they ham-fist it in there and shove it down your throat.
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about the trilogy as a whole. I'm not talking about. So if the trilogy as a whole, the most important, relationship in this entire trilogy is Finn and Rey. Going back to The Force Awakens, huh?
And they should have gone with that. They should have stuck by it.
Absolutely. And they moved away from that, in The Last Jedi, clearly. But when you're building that up, and clearly JJ recognized that we needed to revisit that relationship in some capacity. And when you're building it up in the movie and you literally just don't do anything with it, and then JJ confirmed it after the movie was out, that leads more into these stories being true right here, that JJ actually gave a huge plot point answer that wasn't in the film to the media. You know what I mean? Like, that just continues to speak to that. So continue on, Mary.
So I kind of skipped down here to the end because this was something that we actually saw take place on Twitter, right? We saw Oscar Isaacs kind of pushing and promoting, hey, the Finn Post stuff, right? That was something that he had wanted to, and that they'd wanted to see, and he'd wanted to advocate for. And Disney and all of their progressive soapbox standing and all of their, hey guys, we got the gay kiss in here, isn't it cool? We're gonna take it out in the countries that we can't make money in, of course, because money, of course, which is fine. If you want to be capitalist about it, then be capitalist about it. That's great. But if you're going to be a freaking hypocrite, just don't sit there and shove it in our faces that you're so progressive, and then take that very scene out in the countries that don't want it in there, because you're not progressive. You're just thinking about money, and you're looking about grandstanding. So he goes on to say that. The source asked about the Finn Poe after seeing Oscar Isaac's comment about how Disney didn't want it to be a thing. This is true. JJ fought to make this happen. This is why Oscar is blaming Disney. It's not just a random throwaway comment. He knows for a fact that it was Disney because those discussions happened. The main cast is insanely close with JJ and are just as pissed. Though seemingly more outspoken about it than JJ during The Force Awakens, Disney was hesitant to hire John Boyega because a woman was front and center, so they deemed that risky enough. So bringing on a male lead who's black made them nervous. Oh my God, guys, Disney was nervous because it's a black guy.
It's so good.
But we're the racists.
This is what happens when you go down this social justice rabbit hole. Like when when you're trying to add characters for the wrong reasons, it's going to blow up in your face. So good.
So you can understand why people like Oscar Isaacs and people like John Boyega would be particularly close to JJ, because he fought for this stuff. He fought for them if this post is to be believed. And of course, we recognize that this is rumor and speculation here. It's a Reddit post, so you have to take it somewhat with a grain of salt. But a lot of it lends itself to credibility just because of the leaks and the rumors and the things that have been coming out over the course of the past few years, let alone the last 6 months or so, right? So it goes on to say,
hey, I gotta look at this one.
Gruey.
This is This is gonna be a legendary Geeks and Gamers meme. The Gru is going to be one. I'm so happy and honored you are all here to witness this great moment in Geeks and Gamers history.
I told you. Ha.
Yeah, look right there. Life is like a Geeks and Gamers live stream. You never know what you're gonna get. All right, oh, and there we go, right there. Mary, fire, mayhem, fire, burning that fire, grewing fire, Reylo, tears, fire. Mary is on fire tonight.
Yeah, fucking heretics. So apparently, this, I'm sorry, I just have to highlight this because this is what absolutely, this cracks me up so bad. That during The Force Awakens, Disney was hesitant to hire John Boyega because a woman was front and center, and so they deemed that risky enough. So bringing in a male black lead made them nervous. A male who's black made them nervous. Yeah, fucking racist.
Everything we have said about the forced bullshit identity politics and all of it, it's all coming out. Like, again, all of you, you know what? Hey, hang on just a minute. Oh, what? I didn't mean to do that. Hang on. I was trying to do your screen share. Sorry. All of you people that have been telling us for 2 years that we've been wrong, that we've been pushing a false narrative, that we've been lying, we've been looking for hate clicks. They're just pushing hate clicks. What we are is we're passionate about Star Wars. We're passionate about our entertainment. And when people say, well, Jeremy, why are you so worried about movies? Because I have a fucking company named Geeks and Gamers. I have a website called geeksandgamers.com, and I'm passionate about this shit. And if you don't like that, you're good. Go find something you do like. But we were ahead of the curve. We were ahead of the game. And it's all coming out. Look at John Boyega. When's the last time you saw a prominent actor in a massive, big budget film within 2 weeks of the release, but posting spoilers and trashing the Reylos, trashing the fans? When? We've never seen anything like this. It's unbelievable. So that's where we're at right now. We were ahead of the curve. Now, what I would recommend for all you soy boys out there, for all you soy boys that wear the glasses with no lenses, and the ankle choker jeans, and you drink your soy latte every day, I would suggest you grew a brain, Krista 2020 right there. Grew a brain. What I would suggest that you get rid of the ankle choker jeans first of all, okay? I would suggest that you quit trying to pretend that you actually are friends with all of these women that you're trying to fuck, and actually just, be a man about it. Lethal can agree with that one, right, Lethal? All these male feminists out there. And
you're talking to someone that in high school took drama lesson because that's where all the girls were. It doesn't
for them to try male enhancement pills. I mean, it can't hurt, right?
But ultimately, the point is we were right, you were wrong, and you can continue to push your, bullshit narratives if you want. But we were right, you were wrong. Let's get back to the story. There we go. I'm sorry. I had a rant going, but then Lethal brought up doing drama, and I was like, that sounds about right for Lethal.
I thought it was interesting to point this out. So look, KKK got her whole women, the Force is female bullshit going on. This sounds like some shit she would be worried about, right? It rings a bell of truth with me, and this is personal commentary. I'll put that little disclaimer out there so you guys don't get your little panties in a wad, okay? Personal commentary. This sounds like some shit little KKK would do over there. Oh my God, guys, but I don't want my empowered female women card to get overshadowed because black people are way more underprivileged, and then you got to do the oppression Olympics, and I don't want that to get pushed under because on the poll of who's more oppressed and who's got to get more special treatment because of all that shit, then white women fall they're not as oppressed as black people, right? So it just sounds like some shit that would go on in her head, that she would be like, I don't know about this, guys, because I really want my strong powered female character up on the screen, and I don't want that undermined by someone who's automatically perceived as needing more special treatment than her, right? Yep. I could just see that. I could just see that being an internal issue for her. As I said, personal commentary. You can do with that what you want. You can shove it up your ass for all I care. I'm just saying.
Mary is on fire.
So JJ apparently fought to make that happen for about 9 months. Apparently, JJ Abrams fought for this for 9 months before getting approval. JJ Abrams had to fight to bring a black man onto this. You know, I don't recall anybody ever having to fight to bring freaking Lando into this stuff.
Exactly.
I'm just saying that's ridiculous. So the same issue came up when JJ fought to have Finn and Poe in The Rise of Skywalker, but he lost the battle, as he lost many creative battles for this film. Many people, JJ included, came to the realization during this production that the story really is told by shareholders/investors instead of the creatives or anyone at Disney specifically. He tried to make a lot of things happen and was shut down because of this. And they had him on a leash, and many blamed The Last Jedi for the stricter creative approach. Yep.
Sounds like a movie made by a corporation. There's no heart, there's no soul, there's no love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mathematically formulated.
And that's exactly what it felt like when watching it. So it's did you get to the end?
I think that was the end. I think I skipped over the other part that I really
and that's fine, but that's kind of the gist of it right there. I mean, we're not going to read through it again. But but it's unbelievable. But that's where we're at with it, everybody. That was the bombshell that we're talking about. It essentially, again, for the 10th time probably this stream. Nobody's saying this is 100% true. You are welcome to come to any conclusion that you want about what we just shared with you. I think that us talking about it twice now, and as we're putting the pieces of the puzzle together, it seems like there's a lot of substance here. We've seen meddling with different movies in the past, and it's just I think that after watching this movie, after seeing how John Boyega is acting, after seeing how the end with Rey and how she doesn't seem upset at all in the end, yet she just left Ben Swallow, or whatever, and how that was all cut together, it just didn't gel, it didn't vibe. And remind me on this, I know Lethal, you haven't seen it, so either Krista or Mary, what happened with Finn and Poe? Why weren't they together in the end of The Rise of Skywalker? I honestly don't remember.
I mean, I don't really remember. Look, the movie's so fracking forgettable. They're all together at the end there or whatever, right? They're kind of running around in a little celebration or whatever. But the focus shifts a few different times. It shifts over to Lando and Jaina. It switches over to Chewie getting a medal finally. I don't know why that is. Why now? If Leia wanted me to give you this medal or whatever, you couldn't have given him that medal ages ago, Leia. I don't know while you were alive. While you were hanging out. Why now? Oh, okay, that looks good on screen. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah,
such a disaster. But we're kind of at the end of talking about all of this. I'm gonna have to get to super chats. There's a lot to get to, so if you're here for all of that, you'll have to wait for this to process for us to kind of discuss all of this. Mary and Krista will be leaving links in the chat for the link to this Reddit post, so you can go check that out. What about are all of you hanging, or any of you got to go?
I do get up in a few hours with a little one in order to do the whole parental thing. But
okay.
So yeah, I'm probably gonna scooch here in a little bit.
Well, you've been killing it, Mary. So why don't you go ahead and advertise your channel, and why don't you go and get out of here and get some sleep? So tell us about your channel.
Sure. Give me 2 seconds here, and I will turn my damn screen back on. Freaking sorry about that. Okay.
That's all right.
I got this unlocked, guys. I swear to God. Somewhere around here. Here it is. All right. Hi, guys. I am Mary Beam. I am the Mistress of Mayhem, disruptor of the narrative, and official Wham and card holder. You can find me over on my channel, Mary Mayhem, where I talk about newsy news stuff during the weekend or during the weekend on the weekend. Sometimes we have a little fun. So please feel free to come check me out. I'll drop a link for that in the chat here in just a few minutes.
All right. And we'll drop links in the chat, everybody, to everybody's channel. Lethal, what about you? You gonna hang or what?
I've got about 10, 15 more minutes, mate.
Okay. All right. What about you, Barbie?
Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up here because it's getting pretty late.
Okay. Do you want to give an advertisement for your channel? I know you'll be nervous.
I don't know what my channel is.
But, you're front and center of 3,600 people.
Hi. As I said, I don't know what my channel is, but if you enjoy awkwardness, come over and subscribe, or follow me on Twitter at Miss Darth Barbie. And yeah, thank you for having me on, Jeremy.
Of course. It's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the Geeks and Gamers team. Mary, brings a lot of the flavor that we have here at Geeks and Gamers over to her channel, covering a lot of the topics and everything like that. Barbie is completely different than Mary, and that's a compliment to both of them because they both bring a different element. You'll find Barbie eating chapstick occasionally to see what it tastes like, or she'll be
I got you.
Look at there. I can't even see it. Yeah, we can barely see it.
Mountain Dew chapstick right here.
Oh my goodness.
You'll see her doing her where she has Tina exposing Twitch thoughts, things like that. So and she just does regular review of like Star Wars stuff. So it's a great channel. So so Mary, you're gonna bounce now? Mary?
Yeah, man. I gotta
okay.
Sleep
so
thing.
Mary, it was great having you. Barbie, congrats for being on the team in your first live stream. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And y'all have a great night, ladies.
Good night.
See you guys.
All right, bye.
Through now.
Bye. All the views are gonna drop now. That's just
all right. Now we can talk about the real stuff.
Yeah, now we can talk some shit. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's get through some of these super chats really quick. The Rookie Critic, Fandom Menace rocking into the Roaring 20s, baby. Absolutely. Darth Vader, hello there, my friends, and Happy New Year, says Darth Vader. Thank you, Darth Vader. Also, Lethal, if you can get a link to the Reddit post so you can keep sharing that here because people are going to be, joining in or whatever. Lilith Rosie says, here's the money I would have spent on a second movie ticket. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. NY Kia 31. Now their failure is complete. Exactly. Now their failure is complete. And it's going to continue to get worse as more continues to get exposed. It will continue to get worse. And that's what's beautiful about it is we're not going to stop, Lethal's not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. Mary's not going to stop. We're not going to stop pouncing on this stuff because they don't deserve any respect. They don't deserve it. Lethal's been part of the Release the Snyder Cut movement now for years. You've seen how all this plays out. You know what I mean?
And this is kind of how it started. So it's a long road. But every now and then, it'll go quiet for a few months and then something will come out and the fire will just be bigger than ever. But I'll tell you one thing, though, we had to wait a lot longer before actors actually came out and started dropping bombs. And you guys are getting it early. So, I haven't seen the movie. I don't like JJ. I really don't like this trilogy. But release the JJ cut.
Hell yeah. Release the JJ cut. Thanks, Random.
How do you feel like the momentum of the Snyder cut, this release the JJ cut can kind of piggyback off that?
I agree. Why don't you I tell you what, we're gonna make the decision right here. Whenever you get time, make a video on this and how it relates to how the momentum of the Snyder Cut can help build momentum, and then they can help each other. You know what I mean? So that would be a great video for you. So that's good stuff. Where are we at? Tyson McFarlane. My theory is that Doomcock is a Lucasfilm employee calling it. I've met Doomcock. I can neither confirm nor deny that accusation. Eric Nelson, Happy New Year, Jeremy. Excited for what's to come from Geeks and Gamers channel. Looking forward to a new woke year. Well, not only the channel, and thank you for the super chat, not only the channel, but the website. Because of the revenue that we earn from this channel, it's allowing me to now again, the website, it's fairly kind of, just paint by the numbers. But I am really trying to figure out how we can build a more community aspect to the website, geeksandgamers.com. I think if we can build a community aspect to geeksandgamers.com, we don't have to worry about being under the thumb of a social media, group. Nobody can kick me off my damn website. That's really what it comes down to. And I would like to create some type of community aspect to the website. And so thank you for all the support. It's all going towards continuing to build Geeks and Gamers. So thank you. Captain Spire says, coworker roped me in to see the Rise of Skywalker on the 15th. Go watch Cats. It's better, even though I haven't seen Cats. I mean, I would have to imagine it's better, though. I mean, how could it not be better, you know?
I don't know. Based on what I've seen of that movie, why?
I've heard Cats is just truly awful, though. So, I mean, it's hard to imagine, though. Mexi, Man, and Cheese. Even if Kathleen Kennedy is out, Lucasfilm was full of her minions. That is true. And it's going to have to be a cleansing from top to bottom. So there's my buddy James Universe. What's up, James? Anything is better than Rise of Skywalker. No, it is true. It is true. How's it going, my friend? Ryanakin. Ryanakin. Love you guys. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Mr. Gently Benevolent. Kathleen Kennedy does look rather plastic. Are we entirely sure she isn't a mask for Darth Jar Jar? Yusa hates me. Misa time to come. Misa gonna take all this down. Misa not Darth Kathleen. Misa not that. Christopher Arcilia. The China thing is probably because of in China they take ancestor ghost stuff seriously. In Disneyland Shanghai and in Hong Kong there is no haunted mansion. I did not know that. That's a great point, though, Christopher. Christopher always has a lot of good theme park insight. I met Christopher at a meetup and really good insight. So that's interesting, Christopher. Good stuff. Interesting indeed. Dan the Man, shaking my head. They've been flying since Battlefront 2 on the PS2, fam. Exactly. Oh my God, man. So ridiculous. Luke Deary says J.J. Abrams is a hack, a pretentious Steven Spielberg wannabe who is not original at all. As someone that's a fan of J.J., I can't really argue with that. I can't.
It's true. He still deserves his movie.
I enjoy his movies. I do. I enjoy Mission Impossible 3. I enjoy Star Trek 09. I enjoy The Force Awakens, obviously, when I saw it. Obviously, the trilogy has had a negative impact on that. Jeremy, have you seen Ray Park's recent mall Instagram post? I have not.
I have.
What is he saying?
It's nothing special. It's just him dressed up as. Oh, hold on, give me a sec.
Okay. Also, I was wondering if there was anything interesting to that. So
it's just him as Maul, and it says, "Meet me on Dathomir, Sith Life."
Okay. All right. So yeah, that was just in the chat there. I saw that run by. So, all right. Shellback TJC says every single one of you are breathtaking, especially Lethal, the Chad of Australia Lightning. Very nice. Very nice. Zenith works. To me, I've always thought the fans of someone or something. Wait, hang on. To me, I've always thought the fans of someone or something and the aspect of their fandom often reflect the thing or the person of their fandom. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, if you look at, like, I don't know, I can only speak to, like, Geeks and Gamers fandom. You know, I think we're a bunch of sarcastic assholes for the most part, you know. We're brutally honest and we're against identity politics, generally speaking. So I think that represents me and a lot of the people we have on the team. So, yeah, I mean, there you go. But this is also this whole fandom thing, you know, like your fans speak for you type bullshit. That's total SJW logic ultimately when it comes down to it, because what they can do is you can have 99% positive comments, but they'll take like one or two really bad comments and they'll go, look what your fans are saying. You're spreading toxicity all over the internet. And that's the game you get into when you start saying that type of stuff. So, I mean, when I talk about people and their fans and what they're doing, or generally 99% of everything I complain about is usually based in sarcasm. You know, I like to take SJW logic and kind of flip it back on them. So if I call someone a misogynist or a racist or something, I'm usually like flipping their shit on them because they like to call us racist and sexist for having opinions. So then I like to do it back to them, but they don't like it when you do it to them. You know, and that's the whole point behind it. But yeah,
there's a difference between being a fan and being a fanboy. Like, I'll tell you right now, I am a Wonder Woman fanboy. I always have been. You know, I find it hard to find a lot of the flaws in her character, even though God knows there's plenty of them. But a fan is someone that can look at something and be like, "That's cool. I really like it." And then Jeremy will come along and go, "Yeah, but did you notice this, this, and this?" So you can go, "That's a good point, but I still like it." That's a fan. A fanboy is someone that will freak out and go rabid once you come in and attack what they like.
Yeah. It's a good point. It's a good point because even me, you know, I can fully own the criticisms of J.J. Abrams. It doesn't change the fact that I enjoy his movies and I enjoy, you know, what he does. I mean, I enjoy his TV shows and everything, but I don't dispute the fact that he definitely doesn't have a lot of an originality with him. You know what I mean? So I'm not here to dispute that. Really, it comes down to, are you confident in your opinions or not? And you know, if you are, it doesn't fucking matter what anybody else thinks. You know. You know, like, I mean, I still enjoy a lot of The Mandalorian, a lot of it. I went on a call with Mauler and Rags, though, and they just ripped the fucking one of them episodes apart. You know, I liked the episode, but then I get on the call with them and just ripping it apart. I'm like, fuck both of you. I hate you both, you know. And so, but I still enjoyed it, but I can't not see the flaws now because of them, you know. But it is what it is. Zenith works to clarify a person's fandom can reflect plus and yeah, no, yeah, I got you on that. The Star Bazaar says Lethal is a lad. I enjoy the Rise of Skywalker, but this is very spicy. # release the JJ cut.
He's a good dude. You know how you're talking, you know, you're looking for Battlefront stuff. He's a really good Battlefront 2 channel. I highly recommend it. I've brought him on streams a few times.
Send me a link. Send me a link to his channel right now on Twitter or Messenger, so I won't forget. I'd like to check that out. Darth Eros says, "Love the channel, guys. Fandom Menace was right. Yes, we were right. Yes, we were. Hey, if you are still here, before you leave, please smash the melee button. Please like the video if you don't mind, and subscribe to Lethal Lightning." This way, yes. Subscribe to Lethal Lightning, part of the Geeks and Gamers team, and subscribe to this channel if you're new here. Because I know, you know, like I said, we're at the super chat portion of the stream now, so we're not really covering the main topic anymore. Lethal and some of our mods will continue to drop a link to the Reddit post, and we'll go for there. All right. Looking for it. Brown Gajin says, does it mention the dagger or son of Mortis? It does not. Didn't mention that. Fenrir Fire, he protect, I attack, but most importantly, he fly now. What? John Joseph Gray, if this is true, screw Disney. This would be like Jerry Jones hiring unknown people to pay the refs to screw the Eagles out of games. Yep, that's right. Qui-Gon says, was there a Dooku Wayfinder or Malls? # no logic. No, none at all. None at all. Kinary says, Boyega forgetting the script under his bed makes sense now. He did it on purpose. I was thinking about that. With all of this going on, it 100% makes sense. And JJ didn't seem too upset about it. So no, it's almost like, you know, it's almost like it's almost like this was all coming out. Like it's starting to make sense. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. I mean, I thought about it earlier, but I didn't think about it now. And then I didn't think about the JJ element to it, because JJ did not seem upset at all. And JJ's like this secret, what is it, mystery box bullshit, you know, like he's. And you remember how secretive The Force Awakens was, regardless if you liked the movie or not. The secrets around The Force Awakens were insane. They did a great job, you know?
Do you know what's funny about this? Last year, well, no, it's 2020 now, 2 years ago, when John Boyega did the We Don't Care, that was the moment I said, I am not seeing episode 9. Because if you don't care, why should I? And now look at him. He almost makes me want to see the movie.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's a good point. Eric Nelson, with all the amount of woke films in 2019, how many woke films will there be in 2020 and which ones? Due to the direction that Hollywood's going in. I do think that we have kind of spoken a little bit. I mean, look, the Rise of Skywalker making less than The Last Jedi is I mean, unfortunately, it's going to probably pass 1 billion, but it looks like it may not pass the Last Jedi. And if that actually happens, then that's a good sign. You know, we've had Joker, which was not a woke film. We've had Ford versus Ferrari. Have you seen that yet?
No, my dad's got it. He wants to watch it with me. We're gonna have a nice little
fan-fucking-tastic movie. Maybe my favorite film of the year over Joker. I'm not sure.
Fantastic. I've heard great things about it.
It is fantastic. Marvel will be woke. That's one thing I'm worried about moving into 2020. But I think that there's at least some light at the end of the tunnel. Not a lot, but I think there's some. Time will tell. Nick,
I think I'm a bit more optimistic than you. I think we're past the worst of it, you know, due to like Charlie's Angels being a massive failure and stuff like that. You know, we had like the female Fight Club was announced, and that was just trashed, ripped apart in the comments and all that sort of stuff. I do feel we're past the worst of it, but then again, you're having your election coming up, and that kind of seemed to be the start of all this bullshit. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, like,
that's true. That's a good point.
I don't mean this as a shot at America, but imagine being so butthurt by who's in charge of your country that it affects your movies.
That's where we're at, though, with this far left wing bullshit, man. It's
what
unbelievable.
About the rest of us? What about the rest of us? You know, that's something that like I've said in like streams with like Australians and all that. Like, we're watching this movie, like a Last Jedi, and we're going, this isn't a galaxy far, far away. This is a fucking American voting booth.
Yep. Yeah,
like,
exactly. You're right. You're 100% right. Well, that's how we feel about it too. Even like, because you're like, who cares what the politics are? We just want to see good movies, you know? So you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Let me see. Let's see. Nick Garza says, Baby Yoda is the latest incarnation of Yiwa or Yiwi. Yewa? I don't know how to say that. Yahweh.
Yeehaw?
I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, Nick. I don't know what that is. Primarch Vulcan says, Finn being force sensitive would have been an awesome story arc for a stormtrooper to have. The Rise of Skywalker is trash. Boyega got done dirty. I agree. Yahweh, is that what it is? Okay. Baby Yoda is the latest incarnation of Yahweh. Is that what it means? I guess.
That sounds like some anime that you probably don't want to have in your search history.
Oh, okay. If it's anime related, I know nothing about that. So, God's name, is that what it is? Okay. I had no idea. How are you going to do JFC, Jeremy, when it means God? What the? All right. Oh, here it is. Is it Moose? He's misspelled Mustafa, Simba's dad. Love that. Joe Brody. Let's see. Cal Kestis is is Disney's best Star Wars character. I got to think about that. Is Cal from Fallen Order the best Disney character? Honestly, I like Quill from Mandalorian. But Cal is, if you're talking about a lead character for sure, Cal is definitely up there. So yeah, I'd have to say probably so. Yes, I am excited for Clone Wars Season 7. I doubt Lethal is, but I am.
Clone Wars has always been something I can take or leave. You know, I can watch it, enjoy it. Yep, that's cool, whatever. But it's 6 seasons of contradiction.
Yeah. I mean, he's an EU guy. So Ryan and EU guys apparently hate Clone Wars. I love the Clone Wars. I love the Clone Wars.
I can appreciate it for what it is. Like, I can watch it and be like, that's cool. That's cool. That's fun to watch. But I'll grind my teeth while watching it.
Man, and they say Geeks and Gamers is an echo chamber. What the hell, man? You know, what am I doing bringing you guys on that don't love the Clone Wars when I love it? It's almost like they make shit up about us.
Imagine that.
No. D-Source says Rose was CG'd over a slug on the Falcon. Oh my God. Damn it, dude. Fuck. Oh, that penis monster with no arms as a mechanic. He was a mechanic. Why? How are you a mechanic and you don't have any arms? You look like a penis. I don't understand it. Zach Gilbert. I can't remember what it is. What's the penis monster's name in the Rise of Skywalker chat? Zach Gilbert says the prequel's looking better and better each day. The prequels always looked good as a prequel defender. Now, how were you on the prequels, Lethal?
Well, they came out when I was a kid. You know, I'm one of those people that grew up with the prequels. My dad took me to see them because, you know, he wanted to see them. And honestly, growing up with them, I never cared for them. Never cared for them because it didn't have Darth Vader. But as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate them a bit more. They're definitely not my favorite ones. I'm more of a OT guy, 100%. But I got nothing against the prequels. I'm dead in the middle. There's stuff that I think is really good. There's stuff I think is really bad.
Okay. Well, I love the prequels. I obviously acknowledge, especially at the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones have some problems. I love Revenge of the Sith. It's my second favorite Star Wars movie. And I do believe that the Clone Wars significantly make the prequels better. And I'm interested, from my perspective, obviously not being an EU guy versus you being an EU guy, do you, even with your problems with the Clone Wars, do you feel like the Clone Wars do improve the prequels if you're looking at them just through that lens?
Yes and no. Like, some of the contradictions, I think, kind of makes it a bit worse. But I get what people mean when they're talking about like Anakin's better and all that sort of stuff. I can agree, but I feel they made Obi-Wan overpowered in the Clone Wars, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, he goes from Attack of the Clones to being Revenge of the Sith level instantly. Like, I don't like that, but I can appreciate the world building that the Clone Wars added to the prequels.
That is the huge aspect. That's a huge aspect of the Clone Wars, is the world building and how it makes you understand that the universe is significantly bigger than you kind of like. You can feel how big the universe is in the prequels. You really can, but the Clone Wars really expands upon that, and it really shows you these different planets, different life forms, different species, and it really does open it up a lot, in my opinion. So
I bet some of the characters, like Grievous is a joke in that show. Like, he's supposed to be this badass Jedi killer, and he's getting his ass handed to him every week by a Jedi Padawan. Like, I don't like that. It's very hit and miss for me. But one thing that I loved about the prequels, apart from the Clone Wars, was I feel prequels gave us some of the best EU content. Like, before TCW, when it was just Clone Wars, like that multimedia project, I thought Ventress was so much better in that. The way she had Obi-Wan captured in the chamber, torturing him and stuff like that. Like, all that stuff was hot fire, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That kind of comes into my gripes with TCW.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Titus Muller says, sure, on the surface, none of the Rise of Skywalker seems to make sense, but have you considered the Force? Exactly. Editor MG, sounds like they could have split this up into two parts like Deathly Hallows, which is what I suggested. I would have watched a 3-hour Star Wars movie, though. Happy New Year. I would have watched a 3-hour Star Wars movie if it was correcting all the shit that Rian Johnson gave us, and then ultimately, gave us a decent end to this trilogy. I absolutely would have. Ion Lucas says, still confused as to why they revere Anakin's lightsaber. Same lightsaber that cut younglings and Jedi. Why do they keep calling it Luke's? Yeah, because they don't understand any of this shit. Again, Kathleen Kennedy thinks that Mustafar is Simba's dad. So I mean, like, that's how dumb these people are. So all they know is that, we gotta have, Anakin's lightsaber, because they don't know any of the context to it. They don't care about any of the context to it. So yeah, I mean, I it's another massive plot hole in the Disney Star Wars. It's garbage. Rookie_1 says J.J. Abrams style, just not as good, just not good for movies in my opinion. He's better suited for TV series, but Disney made the whole thing way worse if they just gave JJ. If they would have just gave JJ full control of the Disney trilogy, I mean, it would have been significantly better and far more coherent if he would have had control from the start. And I do agree with you as a JJ Abrams fan. I do agree with that he is better suited for TV. But I do enjoy his movies like Super 8. I'm a huge fan of Super 8. Jason Duvall, this hurts. The movie we know, the more we know, the worse the Rise of Skywalker gets. 100%. 100%.
You guys are sounding like Snyder Cut fans now. The more you learn, the more you want it.
Yep. Release the JJ cut. Let's see. Ann O'Reilly, Rotten Tomatoes, by claiming 86% approval, is actually dismissing The Rise of Skywalker by 86ing it, which means reject, discard, or cancel. That is true. As a former restaurant employee, I definitely knew what that meant. Zach Gilbert, I'm trying it sideways, but it isn't working.
That was when you told the Reylos to fuck themselves sideways?
Yeah. Reylos probably have 5 copies of Chromosome 21. And have you ever seen the Mel Brooks producers? The producers. Oh, a long time ago. None of Mel Brooks' movies would work today, though. To be people like get offended. So, Mexican Iron Man, hail fearless leader Jeremy, and hail geeks and gamers. For LO geeks and gamers and the pulse of the late breaking news. Thank you, Jeremy, for selflessly assembling the team at Geeks and Gamers channel in the middle of the night. You all rock. # solo lost money. Fantastic super chat from Mexican Iron Man. I love Mexican Iron Man. Love cool Mexican Iron Man. He is very cool.
He gets around. He's on like every stream.
I know. Shout out to Mexican Iron Man. You are great, and we love you. Darth Soldier, released the George Lucas cut. I'm sure we're going to be hearing that as well. Let's see. Rama says, Star Wars, Rian Johnson would love to do a spinoff on this fascinating character. Check out the article. Ryan wants to come after Boba Fett. Ruin wants to come after Boba Fett. What is that? Oh, have you heard about this, or just the title alone has got you?
The title alone. Leave Boba alone.
Does he want it? Is that really a thing? Does Rian Johnson actually want to go after? Oh my God! I'm not the biggest Boba Fett fan myself, but I don't want Rian Johnson anywhere near Boba Fett. So
Boba Fett is one of those characters where what you see in the movie is about 2%. Like in the EU, Boba Fett's one of my favorites. He's just a total badass.
Yes, Outbound Flight. We are going. A lot of us are going. I mean, Sheev Burger says release the Dexter Jester cut or Jetster cut. I don't know how to say that word. Shellback TJC # release the Lethal Lightning expanded universe cut. There you go. I'm sure you'd be happy with that one. Michael Plowman, that left me mind grown. Probably something within the thing we were reading. Henry Dorset Case, $10 super chat. As an ambassador to Twat Waffles the world over, I take umbrage at your compassion of that monster to our kind. Well, I am happy, Henry, that you are an ambassador to Twat Waffles the world over. That's a very inspiring moment in the history of Geeks and Gamers, so we appreciate that. Rama says, Yoda, Gru brain you have. Great stream this is. Now we're at the Gru part. Matthew Werney, JJ is getting to find out what it's like when somebody makes you want 25% different after he screwed up Trek. I mean, a lot of people would probably consider that karma. I'll give you that. Dave Antics says, it's over, Anakin. I have the high groomed. Yeah, we're in that part now. Jeremy needs to grew a brain. MK Legend, not giving a pass. Episode 7 sucked, so F Jar Jar. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with that. Zach Guilford, I'll try grewing. That's a cool trick. Zach Gilbert again. I find your lack of Gru disturbing. We all know Kevin Smith liked it. Of course he did. Kevin Smith likes everything at this point.
Everything makes me cry, man. It's weird.
Look at that one. It's Mustafar, the guy.
Oh shit. Oh wow.
That was good. Oh fuck, that was good. Oh. I'm leaving that up. Where's it at? I'm going back. I'm leaving that shit up. Where the hell did it go? I gotta find it again. I don't know if I can find it again. That was so good. Where did it go? Damn it. I shouldn't have taken it down. I shouldn't have taken that one down. I can't find it now. Oh, there it is. Right there. Paul Tack says, what if started off with Dark Rey and Ben Solo? Her eventual redemption via self-sacrifice saved Ben and Snoke. By the way, my whole theater LOL'd with the Reylo ending scene. Anything involving Ben being anything involving Kylo Ren being Ben, except for a final redemption as he dies, a la Return of the Jedi with Darth Vader. I don't want to see Ben Solo in this movie. I want to see fucking Kylo Ren be Kylo Ren. you know, from like The Force Awakens when I liked him. But, you know, but I get it. And I agree that my theater did not like my theater booed. Not everybody, but several people booed during the Reylo scene, the kiss scene. Mr. Gently Benevolent, it's over, Anakin. I grew the high ground. Dave Antics, don't mind me, just being a Fandom Menace groupie. Love that one. Jesse James, have you seen the new Kenobi fan film? I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it yet. Have you? Was it Jamie Costa? Is that his name?
Nah, I haven't seen. I've heard good things though.
I've heard great things about it. I haven't seen it yet myself.
What is your favorite fan film? Star Wars fan film?
I've not watched a lot of them. I've only watched about 3 or 4, and I have a personal attachment to the Star Wars Theory Vader fan film because I was on the set of it. You know, I watched the production of it happen, and so I have a strong emotional attachment to that one. But people have sent me some fan films, and I've watched several. I'm interested to actually watch quite a few more, actually. So if you have any suggestions, send them my way. You know, I would love to watch some more. So what about you? What's your favorite one?
It's called Invincible. It's the last chapter from my favorite Star Wars book called Invincible. It's the Darth Kaidas versus Jaina Solo fight, and they nail it, man. Absolutely nail it.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Send me up what you think I would like in reference to what I know is obviously the animated stuff in the films, not so much but I'm excited for that animated version of Heir to the Empire and the Thrawn trilogy that he's working on. What channel is that, Darth?
I always mix him up with the guy that's doing Dark Empire as well.
But yeah, it starts with an A, I think.
Yeah.
But that's looking really good. That's looking really good. Where are we at? D-Source says happy Gru year. And oh, that's it right there. There's the channel. And then Zach Stowey. If you can link to his channel, Lethal, if you can find it and link to the chat, because he's doing a great job. He's doing a really good job.
He's impossible to get in touch with as well.
He's doing a great job. And where are we at? Zach Stowey says, what threw me off was they grew. C-3PO knees. He climbed up a rocky hill and ran like he really had to poop. Rama. Anyone else feel like Lando and Jana scene? If you don't know their biological relationship, especially with Lando's dialogue, it felt like a hookup. That's what people were saying. I need to watch that again. Apparently I need to check that out because I didn't catch that, but apparently that's a thing. So I'm gonna have to watch that again. Zach Gilbert, hello, all my oh no. He almost got me on the John Campio one. You almost got me on that one. Oh boy. Zach Gilbert, you son of a bitch. That was good. You almost got me on the smelly knee and then the rest of the word. So is that on YouTube so everybody can go look and see exactly what it was? Like that's got to be on YouTube, right?
I know that Black Angus clipped it and uploaded it in case anyone just wants that particular part. I don't know if the actual John Campia clips still upload like from his stream.
I'm looking for it now. See if Angus still has it on his channel, and then send people. Oh wait, here it is. Here it is, right here. Here it is. It's titled John Campia Racist, and it has 842 views. So if you want to go watch that, you feel free to watch that. I think it's it. Let me click on it. Let me see. You gotta watch it. It's so good. It's so good. Oh God, it's 7 seconds long.
John Campia loves black people.
No, I don't know if that's it or not.
It is.
Link it to the chat, but we're not playing it here. Is it 7 seconds long? Have you ever heard it before? Oh yeah, because you said Black Angus. I'm not playing this on here. I'm not doing it, but you guys got to go watch it. Shit's hilarious. Come back and you can tell us how great we are for telling you about that one. There's Lethal. Lethal just put it in the chat right there. You want to go watch that and laugh your ass off? Feel free to do so because it is fantastic.
He says he loves the name.
I know it's. Oh God. Everybody in the chat's watching it now. They're like, oh my God, did this really happen? They're like, yeah, it happened. Hang on, I gotta check one thing really quick and then I'll get back to super chats. Look at the chats coming in now. They saw it. They're like, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. So good. Look at all the responses. Give me a minute, guys. Give me a minute. I apologize for the delay. I know. I am trying to get in here. I want to change the title to this stream. What is it?
I'm just reading the comments.
Oh, they're freaking out. All right, edit. Because I didn't realize I got this title wrong. Why is this taking so long?
Oh, that's funny, man.
Okay, here we go. Back to the super chats. My apologies for slowing down everything. Where am I at? Daniel Evans. That's your fault, Zach Gilbert, for knocking this discussion so far off track, but I did not fall for it. And I'm proud of myself for not falling for that shit. But Campia, I love that name. So disingenuous. I love that name. Anyway, Daniel Evans says, lots of trees grew on Mufasa. Absolutely. Bobby Vicious, again, huge super chat. We are the true fans. We are the true geeks, the true gamers. The mind tricks won't and never will work on us. Hail. Thank you, Bobby Vicious. We all appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Dave Antics, there we go. Just figured out how to use my Groupon. Daniel Evans says, Aussie.
Oi.
Darius Harvey says, with this information, which may or may not be true, do y'all think Disney had a hand with the Joker slander? Like you said earlier, they need DC to stay weak in order to remain on top. That's a great point.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. But I think it's a fair point. It's a fair question to bring up. But I'm going to say no.
I wouldn't completely dismiss it. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but I'm leaning no.
Yeah, I'm leaning no too for sure. But I think it's a very valid question for sure. Daniel Poland says, what happened to the Lucas cut? I think we're going to find a lot more out. I'm sure Doomcock's sources are going to have a lot of good information based on this stuff. You know what I mean? So Monty Dean says, it's Gru. All of it. Qui-Gon says, Angry Joe didn't like this movie. Angry Joe, not Angry Joe. Angry Joe. Chief Burger, swig of Berry Groose for the working man. You fuckers are amazing. Citizen 7, hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you. We all appreciate that. Qui-Gon says, Daisy is nervous about... Oh... You fuckers. Daisy is nervous about knee. So yeah, I can't say it though. Hashtag save Ewoks. Shellback TJC. I was gonna buy a fully Gru brain, but I spent money on this super chat instead. A very wise choice. Neokess Gru plus gamers. Drake 6. Disney hasn't moved forward from Song of the South. A great point. Daniel Evans, this live stream made me Gru big pee. Oh shit.
You're welcome.
Oh, so good, so good. Steel Storm Dragon, Palpatine, grew it. Qui-Gon says, Grudo shot last. Hashtag not my Han. Fuck. Chat skipped on me again. The Fandalorian always grew. There are no more, no less. Illumina. Remember when Harrison Ford warned the sequel trilogy actors not to join Disney Star Wars? Did he?
Doesn't ring a bell.
I don't remember that. If somebody can, somebody can. Yeah, I mean, I would like to know, but I've never heard that. So, all right, where are we at? Matt, yeah, if you have more information on that, let me hear it. Matthew Werney says, I never grew as a person until I found Garrett. Holy shit. That is some representing Geeks and Gamers live stream right there. Because that was from a stream me and Gary had in San Diego. Oh my goodness. That is beautiful, Matthew. I never grew as a person until I found Garrett. I love it. Fucking amazing. Love you guys. DK Samaritan says, I hope they don't destroy the Mandalorian. I just want good Star Wars, no strings attached. That's a question I have for Lethal. I haven't talked to you about it. Where are you at on the Mandalorian?
I haven't started it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, is it any reason why?
It's just one of those things. Just at the time, I didn't have time for it and started watching other stuff and
I got you.
Just fell behind.
Okay.
Just fell behind.
I'll be interested in your thoughts on it when you get around to it.
I'll get around to it eventually.
Qui-Gon says Jeffrey Palpatine didn't kill himself. Wait, no. Daniel Evans says, I'm just here for the dudes. Well, there you go. Daniel Evans has been dropping some bombs on the chat. I appreciate these. These are amazing. Tim Riggs, Disney needs to grew a pair and just admit that Kathleen Kennedy sucked at Star Wars. Also, JFC, I am wasted on vodka right now. Well, that explains why you said JFC earlier than Tim when I didn't know that was what the. Is that on Twitter?
Yep.
Holy shit.
You are Groot.
Wow. Okay, retweeted. That's beautiful. That is fantastic. Retweeted, no way. Retweeted indeed. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I got to show everybody that one. That is amazing right there. Boom, boom, bam. Tell me that's not amazing, everybody. Come on now. Look at that. I'm Groot. Oh, that's so good. That is so freaking amazing right there. I love all of you so much. Oh, that's great. Fantastic. Shout out to No Way. That is good. That is good stuff indeed. Wow. That was amazing. All right, where are we at? Retro Sauna says, hello, guys. I am a French fan of Star Wars living near Paris, and I just can't bear all the shit Disney did with the new shit trilogy or shitlogy. All my support from France. The Mandalorian saves the day at least. Thank you all the way from France. I appreciate that sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I know Lethal does and everybody on the team does. We're here for you to help you get you through all of this, and we're going to keep fighting for Star Wars. We're not going to let them tell us to stop. So DK Samaritan, all of these people who grew, it doesn't even have grew in it. I've just said grew so many times now. A lot of these people who go nuts over criticism have invested so much of themselves that they can't separate from the object of their fanboyism's obsession. They really need to be in a mental hospital. I agree. Yeah, I agree definitely. Completely. Anthony Norris, The Rise of Skywalker is a fucking disaster. Straight to the point. Yeah. And he says it again. Another super chat. The Rise of Skywalker is a big piece of shit. And then wow. Anthony became a member from the channel. What's up? Anthony Norris dropping bombs. I love it. Fucking amazing. Ian Slater, want the Lucas cut. CBS better learn from JJ fail. Absolutely, 100%. Jesse James, Caucasaurus is the name of the dick boxster. Oh shit, his name was Claude, by the way. Tim Riggs, SJW should be tied down Clockwork Orange style and be enforced to watch Blazing Saddles over a week loop. Yes, they would lose their mind if they had to watch Blazing Saddles. Let's see. Steve Crossy says, why not bring Plagueis to Revenge or Rise of Skywalker instead of Palpatine? They don't even know who Plagueis is. They don't even know who Plagueis is. That's legit. Like, go back. I can't remember. I think it was Comic-Con, like 2014 or 2013 with JJ and Lawrence Kasdan, and somebody asked them about Plagueis. You could tell they had no clue who Plagueis was. They had no clue.
Was that the one where Daisy Ridley starts like, is that Snoke?
No, but that's a different one. But JJ and Kasdan are at a panel, and they're asked about it. And yeah, they bullshit their way through it, but you could tell they don't know who the hell Plagueis is. They have no clue. But I remember that one, too, with Daisy, where she's like, she played it off, as best she could, but she had no clue what they were talking about. Moria O'Reilly, if Force Lightning destroys ships, why waste money on Star Destroyers? I mean, as a Force ghost in these fucking Disney movies, I mean, so they can pick up lightsabers, they can use Force Lightning. Why the fuck don't they just join the goddamn Resistance and help them at this point? It's so stupid. If Luke can raise, his X-wing, like, well, Luke, why don't you just come on and help us? It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
Their answer to everything is the Force. I think it was Jeremy Johns who was saying, like, if it was Lucas doing it, he would say something like, just because we have the Force doesn't mean we can do anything. But these people are the total opposite. We just got the Force, we'll do anything. If everyone's special, no one's special.
Exactly. Makani90 says, just remember, Reylo fans are okay with sending death threats towards JJ for Ben Solo's death, but speaking out and giving criticism, and you're labeled the toxic ones. Enjoy your fans, Disney. That is beautiful. I am rereading that one more time from Makani90 because that is the truth bomb of truth bombs, motherfuckers. Just remember, Reylo fans are A-okay with sending death threats towards JJ for Ben Solo's death, but speaking out and giving legit criticisms, and you're labeled the toxic ones. Enjoy your fans, Disney. Boom. That was beautiful right there. Scooter Mattoon. Yo, Jeremy, big fan. I DJ for WJRR in Orlando. Would love to come on and vent some Star Wars or Star G one day. Your co-host sounds like Ben K. I'll be in Orlando in in about a week, Scooter. So if you have a Twitter account, you can shoot me a message on Twitter at ddaycobra, or you can email me ddaycobra@gmail.com. So, but thanks for the super chat, Scooter. Really appreciate that. Dimajanai, Jeremy and Lethal, you're both breathtaking.
No, you're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking, Dimajanai. We appreciate you. Scooter Mattoon, Wars. Yeah, I know what you said. Star Wars one day. Yeah, so we'll talk, man. Just hit me up. Martin Fry says, good job. I enjoy your videos. I am so sad about how Disney and Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars hit the wall. I hope you do a reboot with the George Lucas concept. Yeah, I hope man, we'll see. We will see. Zach Gilbert, long shot, but are you a fan? They're trying to get me. Zach Gilbert's trying to get me. Sir Billy Ritchie, frankly, my dear, I don't give a grue. Citizen 7, from Robot Chicken Palpatine, and what the hell is an aluminum falcon? And watch and learn. Wishing geeks and gamers a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Jedi Knight and Friend to Alita. Chris Stuckman grew up with Gru. Oh, that's beautiful, because that is a meme for Chris Stuckman. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of that, but Chris Stuckman's like, I grew up with this, I grew up with that. Well, he grew up with Gru. And that is going to get us to the end of the super chats. And it's been a long night. This stream will stay live. I will keep it on the channel so you guys can all tune in. I'm going to release another upload about this topic tomorrow on Geeks and Gamers. We're also going to have Lethal Lightning covering some of this stuff. Mary Mayhem will have a video on her channel. And subscribe to all of these creators that were on the channel tonight. Mary Mayhem, Lethal Lightning, and Darth Barbie, all part of the Geeks and Gamers team, and it's a pleasure to have all of them here. Lethal, this is the most we have live streamed together, kind of a one-on-one deal, and it's been great, man, and we'll have to do it more often. Mary was just dropping fire tonight. She was incredible. And, Darth Barbie being the first time she's been on a Geeks and Gamers live stream, she is great. Go check out her channel. You'll be very, very happy with the content from Lethal's channel, Barbie's channel, and from Mary's channel. Zach Gilbert says, God damn it, Zach, quit. I can't say anything. Midnight's Edge After Dark. Gru is better than woke. Let's see. High Round Master says, sort out that Battlefront 2 stuff, Jeremy, and Gru yourself. Go Gru yourself, everybody. But yeah, this has been a fantastic stream. It's been a pleasure to have you all. Lethal, any shout outs you want to give? You want to promote your channel, anything like that?
Yeah, I feel like for an American, you're actually cool. This has been a nice building bridges. That's what we do here between both our glorious nations.
That's right.
2 time zones, 2 different equators, and look at this. This is great. But no, seriously, I've been through this stuff as a Zack Snyder fan. Disney Star Wars, I have very little love for it. I believe it's possible to redeem it, but this is the type of stuff you got to focus on. If this cut is real, and it will eventually come out if it's real or not, like it did with the Snyder cut. You got to keep hounding them. You got to stay on top of them. You can't give them a breath of air. I hate hate's a strong word, but I think JJ is crap. But he deserves to have his movie, and Star Wars fans deserve a competent conclusion to both this trilogy and the saga. So stay on top of this stuff. It's the best way to go about it. Over on my channel, I talk very little Disney Star Wars. I focus mostly on EU because that's my plan of attack. I want to elevate what was good and how it just dominates what they're doing now, and put more love into that. Focus on what you love, not what you hate. That type of crap. And DC Comics, that type of stuff, and video games. That's what I like to cover. But this has been great. Thank you, Jeremy.
Hey, yeah, no, man. Pleasure to have you. And so thanks to everybody that supported the stream, supported the super chats, liking the video, smash the melee button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We appreciate it. You guys have a great night, and we will talk to you later after this ends.